who on this D line scares you? Jonathan Grenard?
He's from the
Phillips?
Texans, and
Does
who's the
any of
other?
these guys, Van Grinkle? I mean, yeah, we know about him.
We know about Van Grinkle, but he's not going against Evan Neal. So
And you got Dallas Turner, so the rookie.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm not afraid of anybody. Oh, look, they got Jahad Ward. I just looked.
Yep, they got Jahad Ward.
Oh man, something else, huh? I'm not scared of their D line. Their secondary though, I would be cautioned about Gilmore, Harrison Smith. I mean, they're veterans, Shaq Griffin, but these guys are veterans. They're savvy. They got old Fabian Moreau, our old friend. Byron Murphy. So I mean, yeah, this is a good game for I think Brian Daboll to establish the running game and then feed off of play action, because I think you can run on these guys. And I think once you get some of these backers to bite up on the run, you're gonna be able to expose that back end. These guys aren't gonna be able to cover that long. And you have Daniel Jones, who can escape, who has a little bit of running ability to be able to buy time to make big plays down the field, and expose this secondary, because they're good, but they're not great. So yeah, that's how I see it, man. Thoughts, fellas, before we move on. Coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, defensively, like I said, I said it before, our offense needs to just establish the run game and be effective and efficient. And once we do that, I think it does help us a little bit more offensively, opens up different aspects. Like I said before, who's going to handle Wan'Dale Robinson? Forget the deep stuff all the time. Those crossers.
Well, that's Byron Murphy. I mean, that's why we're gonna get into this matchup a little bit deeper on Giants conversations. But I do want to touch on it here on Heart of the City, because we can always use this show as a little bit of a recap / preview show. So Byron Murphy Jr., that's who's going to be guarding Wan'Dale Robinson. How y'all feel about that matchup? He's the nickel.
I like Wan'Dale.
You know,
it goes back to my point. Who's going to? And here's the other thing. What about our tight ends? I mean, so I'm not, and I didn't even get to Shepard or Hyatt. So yeah, they can try and match up, and we could do certain other things. And here's one last factor. Here's a big X factor. Brian Daboll's calling the plays now.
Yeah.
So that's another factor that you want to put into the equation.
How is it a factor? Because when you guys say that, I want you to elaborate, because I know the X's and O's.
Well, he's a veteran of the game as a play caller. So he's not wet behind the ears. He's not going to get rattled. He knows what he wants. He knows how to look at the game from field level and in the box. He knows how to utilize the coaches who are in the box to give him information. He knows how to talk to the players to get information from them to make an informed decision as a play caller. See, that's sometimes young play callers don't know how to do that. They don't know how to talk to the players to get information from them, so that way you can put them in a position to be successful. They just get so stuck on the plays and calling the plays and making the adjustments there. Sometimes talk to your players. How's he lining up out there? It looks like, from the box, this is what he's doing. This, this is what he's doing, coach. And then when, I take these steps, this is what he's doing as an offensive lineman. This is what this defensive lineman is doing. These are the things that Daboll is proficient at. He knows how to do all and adjust to all of that. So, and he can bring a level of calmness to the field. Yeah, he can get upset as the head coach, but then as a play caller, sometimes take it down, stay calm, and that's what I'm going to be looking at more than anything. Does the play calling help calm him down now, so that way he can stay focused on what he needs to do?
Mm-hmm.
So you think it's a good thing that he's calling plays or a bad thing?
Yep. A
No,
good thing.
it's a good thing. It's a
Mhm.
good thing. I mean, like I said, I understand what you go through as a head coach, and and you're not calling plays, and then you go to calling plays, taking a play call from a coordinator. See, that's the other thing. It really helps you focus in, because as a head coach, you do have a lot that you worry about. But then when you start worrying about the play calls, you tell the DC, look, you handle it. So you tell your assistant head coach, handle this part right here while I focus on the game. So you're not, your mind isn't wandering all over the place. You also set up information ahead of time. So, in this situation, this is what we're going to do. In that situation, even on the sideline, in an emergency situation, a player gets hurt, a critical player, look, let this coach, handle that, get the information from me. Once I'm done with the play calling, then update me and let me know what's going on. So that's what I mean by, as a play caller, it helps you focus in. It really does.
Yeah, man. Nah, you're right, coach. I definitely think, man, as a play caller, you definitely have to be locked in. You know what I mean? I just wonder if um I just wonder if this team is strong enough to handle that, to handle that the coach is more involved in the offense and not the defense,
Don't no, he's involved with the defense. Don't see, that's where people get the wrong perception just because he's calling plays. No, he's involved, but
They both gonna be involved with everything.
he's
It's
going
like,
to delegate. He's delegating more.
well, perception is everything, right, coach? So
Not you. That's fan
when you
base. When you're down there on the field, trust me, the players understand.
He
You don't
has to
think,
be involved in everything.
yeah, and you don't think these players have been involved
Okay.
with a coordinator who?
I think y'all missing my point. So the
Okay,
point is
clarify.
not that he's not involved, is the fact that now you're taking over play calling. So you're from play to play, right? You're thinking about calling a certain offensive play, but
Mhm.
then and simultaneously you have to be thinking about what your defense is going to do on the next drive.
No,
Like
you
you have
don't.
to be thinking about both things. You have to be thinking
Mhm.
about what
No, and what you no, you don't. No, you don't, man. No, you don't. That's why I just said you're delegating more authority to your
Mhm.
coaches.
You delegate more authority to your
You're
defense.
taking that pressure off of him. He's taking that pressure off of himself.
and that's fine. So okay, how do you feel about Bowen as a defensive coordinator then? That's
See, that's a whole
then
different
that's going to be
question,
the,
though. In
Yeah,
one
but
sense.
that's also going to come back on how Daboll is able to freely call plays, because he has to be able to trust his defensive coordinator completely in order to
So,
do that. He didn't
so
trust Wink Martin. Hold on, let me land the plane. He didn't trust Wink Martindale.
Mhm.
Now you have to trust Shane Bowen, and I imagine he does. But at the same time, is this dude has not called plays under you on this team before. So you have to see how this is going to play out. So again, Brian Daboll can't switch in the middle of the season and say, hey, look, I'm going to go back to taking over, and then Mike Kafka, you're going to call plays. I don't think that's going to work. So this is going to have to be something he's going to have to do the entire season. And I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying people have to understand how it's going to work out. He's going to have to call plays this entire season without Kafka's.
Let me say. Go ahead, Pat.
uh,
Go ahead.
let me say this. You have to know who your coach is as well. Brian Daboll has coached on defense before a little bit, but he's more of an offensive-minded coach. So more offensive-minded coaches are going to let their defensive coordinator do their jobs. They're going to tell them by looking at film throughout the week what to watch out for. and then he's going to put that trust in his defensive coordinator to get that job done. As you noticed last year, he was like, damn it, Wink, because he knew certain things that was going to happen with the Vikings that week, and he allowed him to get those screens off. See, when you're a coach, especially when you're an offensive-minded coach, you put ultimate faith in your defensive coordinator. You let them coordinate their defense according to what the game plan was going throughout the week. And that's really what all coaches, except for somebody like a Bill Belichick, who was a defensive-minded coach. Now, I know he had a lot to do with that defense, but the offense, he really put that trust into what's the dude's name? That's a horrible coach, but a pretty damn good offensive coordinator. The dude that just got fired from the Raiders and Antonio Pierce took over for him.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, he put utmost faith in Josh McDaniels. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be vice versa. Whatever side of the ball that your expertise is on, you're going to focus on that side of the ball. And your offensive coordinator, you're going to hire that guy because you know what you want to happen on offense, and you put it in his hands to get that done. You see what I'm saying? So he's not worried about the defense while he's calling plays because he's put that faith in Shane Bowen because he's an offensive-minded coach. That's why he took over the plays because Kafka wasn't, doing the game plan the way he wanted him to. He wasn't calling the plays the way he wanted him to. So he has a script that he wants to get out there and formations that he wants to get out there. So he's not worried about the defense like that, like how you're trying to put it, like, oh, now I got to go to the defense. He's never going to do that because he's not a defensive-minded coach. He has game plan. He has a game plan that he wants to be formed for the defense. Hey, we need to stop this. Okay, so now you call the defenses to get this stop, and I'm going to be calling the offense. Now, will he go back and forth between his players? Yes, because he's the head coach. He has to do that. But I'm trying to figure out how you think that you would be worried about him on the defensive side of the ball. The defense is struggling. He's just going to tell Shane Bowen, you need to get it together.
I'm just talking about specifically from how the players look at it. We're talking about players here. Now, I understand, like, you and Coach, you guys like to take it more from a coach, executive kind of management perspective. I'm talking about the players on the field here. The players in the NFL today aren't the players in the NFL when you guys grew up and when I grew up and when J-Lay grew up. These are different type of players, and they have different type of values, and they value different things, and they have a different type of vibe to them. So my thing is now too is Shane. If Shane Bowen is that type of head coach, if he's the next Spags or not even that, if he's just the next good defensive head coach to come through the New York Giants, and we've had several, then this is a great thing. But if he's not, if he so happens to slip at his job for whatever particular reason, now Brian Daboll has to switch a little more his focus on the defense, because if his defense is letting him down, and see, that's why the CEO head coaches do the best. I'm not saying that the guys that call plays can't win. Andy Reid is showing you that is a false narrative. But the CEO type head coaches usually are the ones that succeed more, because when you have deficiencies on one side of the ball or the other, you're able to divert your attention there, and you're not so solely focused on offense. And if something's happened, like the Wink Martindale situation, Daboll was able to correct that. Salute to him. So, but at the same time, is you don't know if Shane Bowen's going to be the answer either. I'm just saying. I'm not being cautious, but I'm just trying to make an example of, hey, the best head coaches usually are the ones that I'm not rambling, dude. I'm trying to tell you, Bill Belichick, he's a CEO type head coach. Mike Tomlin, he's a CEO type head coach. Pete Carroll. Are they calling play? Are they calling plays on? No, because
let me
calling plays on one side of the ball or another? No,
they're not. That's true. Go ahead, Coach.
Tell me I'm fucking rambling.
There's one thing I want you to understand, okay, NYG, and I'm talking to you because you made a statement earlier. You said Daboll has to call plays all year. He's already made that decision. There is no going back and forth. No head coach that's a play caller will sit here after or halfway through the season and say, oh, okay, to his offense or defense coordinator, and now you go ahead and call plays. That's not reality. I'm sorry. If that's your perception, then I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is Brian Daboll has to live with what the results are this season. I don't want to hear any fucking thing about, but these fans, these ones that are whatever.
That's the problem. You're talking about the fans and you're inclusive, just like you said, the players. You're now including. There's different facets.
Right.
Players are not fans.
You're right. You're right.
That's what you're doing. You're putting everything together. So
now let's talk about the schematic part of it. And the thing about it is that Brian Daboll and Shane Bowen, this is their first season working together. So we have to see what that relationship looks like. So again, I'm hoping. I'm not saying it's gonna fail. Like, don't come at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making conversation that needs to be talked about because people only talk about surface level shit. And we didn't even see this whole coach thing getting out of control until this year. Nobody seen that coming. Everybody thought Brian Daboll and Koff, Wink were cool. You see what I'm saying? So now you got to start to take a look at different things and different dynamics in football.
Let me ask you this.
X's and O's.
Let me ask you this, NYG. What's your concern? Just don't include fans or anything. Just what's your concern, so we can get a real dynamic conversation, right? What's your concern?
My concern is that if Brian Daboll takes over this offense better be fucking good. And if this offense isn't good
with him calling the plays, what's your concern? That's a statement. What's your concern?
My concern is not necessarily him calling the plays. My concern is the result, because now you don't have the out to give Mike Kafka. So if your offense sucks, Brian Daboll, you're probably going to get fucking fired, because you can't blame it on Mike Kafka. You can't say, oh, well, I didn't have this or I didn't have that. Joe Schoen gave you the goods. That's my concern with Brian Daboll. And the shit I seen from last year, it didn't look pretty, bro. So that's what I'm trying to tell people.
We started off the year 40-0 last year. That's how we had ended week one.
Okay, I understand that. But you do know last year. Hold on. You do know last year all his people got hurt, and he was not calling the plays like that last year. Only time that you knew that he called plays was the Arizona game, and that was our most explosive game when he called those plays in the second half. So you really still didn't answer my question. You're making a statement like, if Brian Daboll doesn't call good plays this year, he could be fired. That's very true. But what's your concern about Brian Daboll taking over the offensive play calling? Like, what do you think happens if Brian Daboll takes over the play calling? Like, what's your concern? I know your statement is that, hey, if Brian Daboll doesn't call good plays, he's going to be fired. That's a statement, that's true for any offensive-minded head coach that's calling plays. But what's your concern with him calling plays? Like, what bothers you calling him? What bothers you when he's calling the plays?
Here's the thing that bothers me. Brian Daboll, up until this point, I mean, just speculation again, We can only go by what we're reading into. It hasn't been the greatest of relationships with certain coaches. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, if Brian Daboll is calling plays, right, and this defense is not living up to its expectations, how is Brian Daboll going to handle that?
Okay, so your concern,
and that's my concern.
So your concern is that Brian Daboll is not able to be the CEO type coach because he's calling plays. Is that correct? I just want to make sure I'm getting you right.
I think he's in a very emotional head coach. And I think he has a tendency to get frustrated. So if he feels like he's dialed in on his play calling, but his defense isn't doing what they're supposed to do, I worry about how that's going to transpire.
So you're saying that Brian Daboll is basically making himself an offensive coordinator and not a head coach. So basically, you're saying that he's not going to be.
I think
what I'm saying is only I can tell you what I'm saying respectfully, brothers. Only I can tell you what I'm saying. Well, so let me clear it up a little bit better for you. The thing is not about what Brian Daboll can or can't do. It's about how he's delegating tasks and if he can focus on everything at one time because he's so fiery. You know what I'm saying? He's such a guy that gets fired up.
That's what I'm saying. You're concerned about him being so focused on one thing that he's going to be lacking in other things as far as getting to his defensive players that he sees that are lacking on the field, getting those guys ready during the game. I'm not saying before the game. I'm talking about during the game. Like, say, if the defense is lacking that game, he can't come when the offense is on the field and get on his defense because he's too busy calling plays, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a legit concern. That's what I was trying to get out there because people are saying that you're rambling. I don't think you're rambling. I just think that you have a concern.
Right. They can say that.
Hold on. Just try to get that clear that you're concerned about Brian Daboll being too occupied with the offense that his CEO, because that's basically what you are. You're the leader of a whole team, offense and defense and special teams. So you're concerned about him being so tied up into, I got to get these next set of plays in for the offense to go on the field, that when the defense is lacking when they're on the field, that he won't be able to delegate and survey what's going on if the defense is struggling.
I think he's going to have some deficiencies in those categories. I'm just going to be honest.
And that's a legit concern. I mean, you that's just common sense. Like, certain things he's not going to be able to do with his defense because he's concerned about getting the next plays out for his offense. Now, what I will say is when the offense is off the field, that's when he can be talking to Shane Bourne of what he wants to see from the defense. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're saying that he can't talk to the players before they go out on the field because he's calling the offensive play. Bless you.
Thank you. Oh, my bad. I thought I was muted like a motherfucker.
So that time, like that special teams punt, that's going to be his time to talk to his defense before they get out there. Is that a lot of time? No. So that is kind of concerning. But he still will have, spots to where he can talk to his defense before they go out there on the field and starting defense. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's where your captains come in. That's where your position coaches come in. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's putting more faith in those guys, just like Andy Reid does. That's why him having Spagnuolo is a blessing to him. And the defensive coordinator, I'm putting, let's say the normal CEO coach puts 60% in a defensive coordinator. Well, Daboll's situation, he's putting 90%. and his defensive coordinator. So your concern should be switched to the defensive coordinator more than Brian Daboll. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to question the defensive coordinator. Can he get that defense ready? Can he form the game plan to where they went throughout the week and game plan against that team? But I understand where you're coming from. And to be honest with you, it's kind of not fair to the head coach because he has to call the plays. But then you can say, well, he took that responsibility. If you don't believe in Kafka that much, why is he here? You see what I'm saying? There's so many conversations that you can have about that. So it's not rambling. It's just is what it is and running an organization.
Nah, it'll only be rambling when, you know, shit pops up in the middle of the season and I come on here and I say I told you so, and then people get mad about it because I've been right about a lot of things, man. But you know, it's okay if you think I'm rambling, but I know what I'm talking about because I only see one calling plays right now that's winning Super Bowls, and that's Andy Reid. So if I'm rambling and I'm stupid, give me another fucking name.
That's winning Super Bowl where Andy Reid's the only coach winning Super Bowls, period.
That's calling
to be honest with you.
But what I'm saying, did Tampa, did their head coach call plays? That was Tom Brady in there, right?
When Brady was there, you have the best quarterback of all time. He's going to be calling his own plays most of the time. Sean McVay, yes, he won a Super Bowl. He was the only other one.
Sean McVay won a Super Bowl. But now we going back into our era. The Steelers, the Giants, the old school Patriots.
Different way of coaching them there, bro. I get what you're saying.
All right, man.
No. I get what you're saying because you're talking about the Giants of the 80s.
Nah, I don't know football, bro. Y'all got it, bro.
Nobody said you didn't know.
Nobody said he didn't know football. We're actually agreeing with you.
Yes.
It's just different ways to do it. The way that we're just trying to say the way Daboll is doing it, it's worked in certain instances. Now,
is it going to work for the Giants, though? Has it worked for the Giants?
We don't know because it's the first time it's ever happened.
Exactly.
So we have to see the results first before we say that, oh, it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the results for it. If it doesn't work, like you said, more than likely he probably gets fired. And then we have to go back to what we do. But we have to see first, NYG. We don't have any data yet. This is the first time we've seen. Yeah, we don't have any data yet. Nobody's saying you don't know football, bro.
Yeah.
We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, I get annoyed with a lot of people, man. But let's move on. That's why I don't like talking about the Giants no more, yo. Like it pisses me off. But every time we come to the Giants conversations, these things gets this way. It's on every single show, bro. I don't know what it is about this team that triggers people, but I'm tired of it, yo. To be honest with you, let's play the fucking games. Let's see what the team does on the field, and I'm gonna be rooting. I don't know if you guys are or if the chat's going to be, but I'm going to be rooting for the Giants, man. But I just get tired of when people come on here and they always want to attack you like, oh, you're rambling, you're stupid, you don't know what the fuck you talking. Man, shut the fuck up. Kick rocks, man. That's why I'm so pissed off with the Giants in their fan base right now. I really am. I'm sick of y'all, bro.
And that's why you have to tune them out. You're talking to us. You're not talking to them. You're talking to us. We're having a conversation. We're not saying you don't know football. We're trying to get us a serious conversation going. I'm not worried about it. They say a lot of things about me. Do I get worried? Nope. Because a lot of the time, most of the shit you say does come true.
It's just annoying because it's always the Giants fans. I don't get this with the Nets fans. I don't get this with the Yankees fans. It's always these fucking Giants fans, bro. And if you don't like me, suck up, you know what, bro, and get the fuck off my channel. I'm tired of y'all, bro. I will make a channel without you. I don't need your fucking support. Fuck y'all. Bro. If you don't fuck with me,
bro. Talk to me.
Sick of this shit, man. I'm tired of these Giants fans, bro.
NYG,
they
talk to me.
Everything up, bro.
Okay. You got it, bro.
Man, move on, bro. We're moving on to the fucking Yankees, man. Garrett Cole, man. This Yankees team. So we got the score here. 4-1 right now. Bottom of the 8th. Now, let me look at the stats here. What we got. So Aaron, now people talking about Aaron Judge like he's the next Babe Ruth. I want to ask you guys something. Aaron Judge is moving into the basically like the home run chase. I think he's got what? How many, Coach? 51 home runs right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out. Hold on. I have my stats pulled up.
I'll get it for you in a second, bro.
But Judge tonight is 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, 1 hit. So no RBIs, but people are acting like Aaron Judge is the next Babe Ruth. Look, man, I'm about wins, to be honest with you. I'm about wins, and I'm about what impact you have for a baseball team. Now, individually, let me make this clear. Individually, Aaron Judge is a great player. Awesome player. I'm pretty sure he's a good dude, whatever. What has he done for the Yankees? What impact has he made for the New York Yankees outside of hitting home runs and bringing in, I guess the fans, the revenue, the business side of it? Where's the impact? Where's the rings? Haven't made a World Series. But I need more, man. If I'm a Yankees fan, I need more out of this New York Yankees team. I cannot keep sitting here saying it's okay to win 90-something games and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. I'm not okay with that no more. So, Yankees fans, tell me, what do you guys think?
I think you need to put your vitriol towards the team, not just Aaron Judge. That's a fact. Because Aaron Judge has been the one that's been actually carrying him and that new dude that you signed. He's been carrying
Juan Soto. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Soto. So you can't be like, oh, you think Aaron Judge is the next Babe Ruth? No, they're going to cheer for the guy that's putting up the stats for him to get to where they're trying to get to. So you need your team to step up. I don't know the Yankees team because I don't follow the Yankees like that, but you need your leadoff man to continue to lead off in the playoffs. You need the cleanup man, Aaron Judge, to continue to be Aaron Judge in the playoffs. Now, if you want to look at Aaron Judge as a player, as not being the type of player that can lead you to a championship, let's look at his playoff stats. Does his batting average significantly dip in the playoffs? Does his slugging percentage dip in the playoffs? Does his on base percentage dip in the playoffs? You have to look that up. And that's how you can determine what you can call Aaron Judge, like A-Rod. Like A-Rod's stats tremendously dipped in the playoffs when it came to Yankees. He was the reverse of Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter's regular season stats were, a little bit above average, but when in the playoffs, maybe the greatest damn hitter in the playoffs ever. So you base the Yankees based off playoff time. So if you want to look that up real quick, go ahead, because now
got it for you right here. Aaron Judge has a 2.11 batting average with 36 hits, 13 homers, 25 RBIs, 29 runs scored, and 44 games in the postseason in his career.
Okay, so what's his career batting average in the regular season?
I'm pretty sure it's higher than that, but let me.
Is it a significant dip? Like we got to determine that.
Yeah, that's a big dip.
Yeah, it's
Judge is hitting, I think, over 300, if I'm not mistaken, during the regular season.
Judge has played 9 seasons for the Yankees. He has a 288 batting average.
Mm-hmm.
So almost a full point. So yes, now talk to them about Aaron Judge in the playoffs. That's the guy that you're talking about. You're not talking about regular season Aaron Judge. You have absolutely every right to say the greatest things about him. But let's talk about Aaron Judge in the playoffs. What have you seen from Judge in the playoffs? Has he let you down consistently in the playoffs? Because that's what baseball is really about. It's 2 seasons.
Yeah.
What in baseball. Now I do know that. There's a difference. There's a dude that can hit 80 home runs in a regular season, but he goes to the playoffs and it's just trash. Like Kershaw, that pitcher from the Dodgers, he sucks in the playoffs. And the one time he did do well in the playoffs. I think they won the World Series, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they got one.
And he balled out that playoffs, but like when he got to the playoffs, he was horrible. But in the regular season, you couldn't touch him. You know, there's players like that in every sport. You know what I'm saying? So get on them about the playoffs because a lot of people aren't going to. What happened?
Sorry. I said, we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's a lot of fans like you, NYT. I don't care about the regular season with the Yankees because the Yankees are predicted to win the World Series like the Cowboys are predicted to win the Super Bowl. Damn
facts, man.
So I worry about if I was a Yankees fan, which I'm not, I would worry about the playoff.
Dodgers won in 2020. When they beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
man, but
Kershaw went off that playoffs and they won the World Series. But look at his damn stats and all those other playoff appearances. His stats were trash. He was like a regular relief pitcher when it came to the playoffs. It was ridiculous.
You know what's sad, and I wish Jeffrey T was here because he would probably poke fun of me for this, but do you know the Mets have been to a World Series before the Yankees? I mean, the Mets have been to the World Series
most recently
than the Yankees. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
It's because
I'm a Mets fan. Tone it down.
Yo,
I mean, it's because the Yankees. It's because the Yankees in the playoffs are a different team than the regular season. You guys can win 120 games in the regular season, and then when you get in the playoffs, it's like you turn into the Cubs or something like that. Like it's weird, and that's why teams like the Astros, when they get in there, they win a lot.
Now the Mets went in 2015. I remember that, and they lost to the Royals 4-1. And the last time the Yankees went was 2009, and they won 4-2.
And that was Jeter was still there, right? Yeah, Jeter was still there.
Yeah.
He ain't been retired over 15 years.
The World Series MVP was Hideki Matsui. I remember him. Godzilla.
Matsui was killing.
Matsui was
Matsui was that dude. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this, and everybody doesn't have to be like me. But when it comes to people like Judge, I don't judge them on a regular season. Like Lamar Jackson, he's got to that level now. I can't judge Lamar Jackson during the regular season because I know he's going to ball during the regular season.
When it counts, yeah.
But when it counts, he doesn't show up a lot of the times. And a lot of people will bash you for that. Oh, you're just a hater. No, I'm telling you the truth.
That's
like this dude has had very good teams around him. And when he gets to the playoffs, let's just be real, he shits the bed most of the time. Now, last year against the Texans, he did very well. But when it came to the Chiefs, it was like the same old story. Even though that was a great play on Snead to knock that ball out of Zay Flowers' hands for that touchdown. Because he scores that touchdown, it might be a different story. So last year, I can't get on him too much for last year. But let's see what he does this year. Josh Allen. I can't judge Josh Allen in the regular season because I already know what he's going to do. But when he gets to the playoffs and when he plays Mahomes, what is he going to do? That's what all the good quarterbacks in the league now. What are you going to do when you play Mahomes?
That's it, bro. That's
Joe
wild.
Burrow, Josh Allen, Prince Charming, Tua, even CJ Stroud now.
They paying all these quarterbacks to lose to Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes. That's what they're doing.
You know what I'm saying?
Because everybody can't beat them. Right. Everybody can't beat them. It's going to take a team to beat them. It's going to take a Jared Goff type led team or a Daniel Jones type led team or a goddamn Matt Stafford type led team. It's going to take a team that don't have the best quarterback, that just got the best team and the best defense to knock off Pat Mahomes. I'm telling you, bro. It ain't going to be one of these spectacular quarterbacks that y'all drooling over.
No, Brock Purdy should have done it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, go ahead.
Did you get that link I sent you earlier?
What link?
With the 7 tiers? Yeah, look through your text messages. I sent you a link. But
okay.
I think that'll be your next couple vids. If you look at that article, it's a lot in there for you to unpack. Pause.
Okay, I got it now. Okay.
Now I think that the Yankees, their glory days are done. They're gonna be in a rut for like, you know how the Giants in the 70s.
Yeah, the wilderness years.
I think that's where the Yankees are right now. But you know, them teams like that, they always come out of it. You know what I mean? It might take a decade and a half, 17 years, some shit like that. But when they do, they come back and win like 4, 5, and 7 years. You know what I'm saying? So,
but Lou, the thing is with the Yankees, they're like the Cowboys. They're very good in the regular season. The dark age years, when you get good, you get good. But these dudes are good now. They're just not. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. That's why I don't understand.
You got Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Those are arguably 1-2 of the best hitters in baseball right now. Arguably.
Not to take it back to the Giants, but when the Giants were not winning, they were back. But when they got good, that's when they won a Super Bowl. These dudes are good. Every year after year after year, you're making the playoffs year after year after year. That's why I think it's tougher to be like a Yankees fan than a Giants fan, because your expectations are so high every year, and then when it gets to the playoffs, you're crying because they can't win anything in the playoffs. That's the worst to me, because you can't say that, oh, we need this and this to get better, because we're already good. What else do you need?
Ryan says baseball is very analytical. Yankees rely on the long ball, pause, and outside Judge and Soto. Most of the team is hitting sub 250. Exactly. They have 2 players that's hitting, and Judge and Soto. Stanton is hit or miss. So is Rizzo. LeMahieu is awful, and Torres is like, So you really don't have no real hitting behind your 2 star players.
So that's the main issue. I did not know that. So that's the main issue. Because your payroll is one of the highest in the league every year. So all these dudes that you paying all this money to be mid, maybe you need to get some players that are not well known.
Right.
And maybe they can pick it up. Maybe they do hit over 250 to add the Judge, to add the Soto. And you see what happens. And then Judge and Soto need to show up in the playoffs and continue to do the same thing. I would rather them be less than what they are in the regular season and turn it up like Jeter in the playoffs. Maybe you don't get the number 1 seed, but if you turn it up as a number 3 seed or something, you're gonna win. I can't stand teams like that, like the Cowboys. I can't stand them because you got all this talent every year, and then when you get into the playoffs, you play like the old school Bengals.
And that's like, another thing. It
doesn't make any sense.
Shout out to Tally Rand 1. Stanton getting $300 million, bro. Stanton is hitting like 2 and some change, bro, and he is not. His slugging percentage is low. And look, bro, you can't play him in the outfield. He's just a DH. He can't play a position.
So y'all got a DH making $300 million?
Yeah, bro.
And all he has to do is bat?
That's all he does.
That's the problem. What is Stanton going to do when you get into the playoffs? Is he going to continue to do that?
Is Coach still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Haven't I been talking about Stanton?
Yeah.
He is the problem on the Yankees, bro. I'm glad Talleyrand pointed that out. I've been saying the same thing.
Because I haven't heard of him all season.
Yeah, because he doesn't do anything. It's a home run here and there, and everybody's like, yeah, look at Stanton. Yeah, that dude is ass, pros.
But that just goes to what I'm saying. You need your leadoff hitter. So who's your leadoff hitter this year?
It was Volpe. I think they've been mixing Volpe and Jazz. This new guy we got, Jazz Chisholm, and he's pretty good actually. He's been pretty decent for us.
Okay, so your third and fourth hitter, is that Judge and Soto?
Soto, I think they've been hitting at 2, Judge at 3, and then it's either Stanton, Rizzo, or somebody else at
So
cleanup.
Me personally, I would switch Soto to 3 and 4 because if my leadoff hitter is pretty good, that second guy, he can be kind of mid. But if I got a player on base with those two monsters coming in back to back, I should be good.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Like it's about lineups too.
Right. I would want Judge at 3, and then Soto at 2, because you want your first 2 guys to get on base. You know what I mean? Because if you have your leadoff hitter, okay, he's pretty good, and then your second guy's like, and he doesn't get on base. Okay, now your third guy is batting with 1 out, and then your fourth guy is batting with possibly 2 outs. And now you're not going to produce no runs. But if you have that 1-2 guy get on base, now that third, fourth guy, they got 2 cracks at bringing them home.
See, here's how I would do me in baseball. I would have my leadoff hitter making a lot of money because I want him one of the best leadoff hitters. I want that dude to get on base. I want him to be around 320, 340 guy. That second guy, I could put a scrub there if I wanted to. As long as he's not hitting into double plays, I'm good. You striking out, okay, we got 1 out, but then I got 2 monsters coming in with 1 out and a man on base. And if that leadoff hitter is a steal threat, that's even better. That Stanton dude, that DH, he has to play better because he's the guy you count on to get some runs at the back end of the roster. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you're making all that money. You need to be the guy that can get some runs when our starters, when our start off people are not playing that well. You know what I'm saying? Or be like the cleanup of the back end of the roster. Like when my 4th and 5th player can finally get on base, I need you to be able to get the hit to get those runs in before our monsters come back up. Because now if you're batting good and then those monsters get back in there, oh, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's why Big Papi was so good for the Red Sox.
Man. Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? When the little caveman looking dude was I forgot his name, but he was good too. Damn, what was that dude's name? And when they had Ramirez and them boys.
Oh, Poppy, Johnny Damon.
Yeah,
Pedro
Johnny
Martinez.
Damon.
Yeah, all them cats.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we'll see what you guys do in the playoffs, but I don't know baseball like that, but I have a decent amount of knowledge about it.
You know enough, bro. I'm quite impressed, man, with this conversation tonight because we can't. It's hard for us to get people to. That's why I miss Jeffy T, because me and Jeffy would talk. Ask Coach, we'd be talking baseball for damn near the whole show. Like I fuck with baseball. Pause. Like that's one of my favorite sports. You know what I mean? I couldn't play baseball, but I played what was called stickball in New York. So that's how we got our little baseball fix in or whatever, man. But I've always been a big baseball fan, man. Speaking of baseball, the Yankees 4-3, top of the ninth, at the Texans right now. Let's see who we got up here at the mound. So yep, Rizzo at the plate and
y'all got
Gara.
Rizzo too?
Yeah, we got Rizzo. Yeah.
Good God almighty.
Here's a brief update. I just saw this online.
He helped us win the World Series, the Cubs.
They should be better than
Jets cornerback Michael Carter II agreed to terms on a 3-year, $30 million.75 extension with $17 million guaranteed.
Talking about Jets?
Yep.
The running back for the Jets?
No, it says cornerback.
Yeah, he's a cornerback. Michael Carter III. He's their nickel. He's pretty good. He's
they got a Carter over there as a running back too from North Carolina.
But Carter III, the nickel. He is definitely pretty good there. Now gonna check in real briefly here on the Mets. So the Mets won 7-2. The Mets are now 75-64, man. Shout out to the Mets, because if you don't know and you haven't been following this show or you haven't been following baseball, the Mets are one of the teams that, were kind of picked to be in the bottom of the league, in the bottom of the standings, but they are now 1/2 game behind the Atlanta Braves for the final NL wildcard spot. So they have now won 6 in a row. 6 in a row. So shout out to the Mets, man. 6 in a row there. Only, like I said, a 1/2 game behind Atlanta. 3 games behind the Diamondbacks. And a full about 5 games behind the San Diego Padres for the final wild card spot. 3 wild card spots. As you know, the Yankees are the division leaders right now, up a game over Baltimore. So Baltimore is your wild card leader right now with Minnesota and Kansas City. Kansas City Royals. What the hell? But Mets beat Boston. Thank you once again to the Mets. Anytime you can beat a Boston team, I'm gonna give you a round of applause. So you definitely salute to the Mets there, man. We appreciate y'all, man. But let's get into a little bit of, let's see what we got here. Oh, we ain't doing no NBA talk yet. How you feeling about the Knicks? How are you feeling about the
Real good. Real good.
How you feeling about the Knicks?
Hey, if you're a Knicks fan, you gotta feel good. I think y'all have one of the best rosters in the league. You got the Villanova boys over there with Randle. Your bench is looking pretty good. Now your backup big man. Who's your backup big man?
Right now it's a combination of Precious Achua. I mean, they really don't have they really don't have a true big man coming off the bench other than Precious Achua.
Chris Dudley.
Yeah,
I'm messing with you.
Nice. But who was the who's the center? Who's your starting five?
Mitchell Robinson.
He's still there too?
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, OG, Bridges, and Brunson.
That's nice right there, man.
But now, they don't have no depth in the back and the
Hey! Stop being a hater, man.
I'm just saying,
being real.
I'm used to him, so let him speak.
No
man.
depth, no depth in the front court. Just saying.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
As I said, they have, and you may not like it, but Precious Achua did play a little bit at center.
coach.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Knicks fans is telling me he's ass.
Look, I understand that you asked. The question was, if I understand correctly, because as you like to say, NYG, I'm not stupid. You asked who is the backup big man. So my response to you, my answer to you right now is Precious Achiuwa.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, he's God's gift to
that's
the backup."
I got you.
Thank you.
All right, I copy that.
Okay, so starting five, like Coach said, Brunson, nice. Mikal Bridges, we'll see what he do when he has a lot of talent around him. OG, nice. Randle, nice. Mitchell Robinson, when healthy, nice. Dante DaVincio, he did good. Josh Hart, good.
Bench.
Yeah, that's the bench. That's the bench.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo,
DiVincenzo's good.
Deuce McBride.
Josh Hart. Deuce McBride. Achiuwa was pretty good when I seen him last year.
Precious Achiuwa.
Then you got Cameron Payne coming off the bench.
Yes.
He's a veteran. Like, bro, you can laugh at them all you want, NYG. These dudes, as long as they healthy, it's gonna be a problem, bro. It is. I give props to. They built a hell of a roster. They kept a lot of people that they thought they were gonna have to get rid of when they made that trade with the Nets. So, yeah, that roster is decent, bro. I don't like their bench. They don't lose too much with the bench. Now, the only thing I see is when you play teams that have a dominant big man, like Denver.
Philadelphia, yes.
Yeah,
Philadelphia,
and the 76ers are trash, bro, when it comes to the playoffs. I'm sorry. They're trash when it comes to the playoffs. What is Milwaukee
So are the
doing
Knicks?
They went deep in the playoffs with a whole roster full of injured people. And then they got better.
They went to the second round because they beat the Philadelphia Sixers, who were more injured than them.
No, they weren't, NYG. That's a fallacy, bro.
They were not
doing that, and that's not true.
Man.
That is not true.
Man. Joel Embiid was not healthy.
Okay, but you said your exact words. You said that the Sixers had more. Keyword more. You said they had more injuries.
I'll take that back. But they were injured.
Yes,
they were
both
not
teams
at full
were injured. Strength. Neither team was at full strength. But when you take out your entire starting front court, you had not one, not two, but three members of your front court that were out.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this, Coach, because I know we're gonna have to ignore NYG a little bit. He's gonna troll. But when it comes to the East, who you got in the East? The 76ers is the top team in the East. Mm-hmm. They can beat them. The Milwaukee Bucks, what have they done since winning that championship? They try to get Damian Lillard, who I don't believe is a very good fit with them, because I believe that dude that went to the Celtics is a better fit. The guard. Oh, I can't think of his damn name.
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, Holiday, because I think he put the Celtics over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could beat Milwaukee. Now the Celtics is a whole different monster. Not too many teams are going to line up very good against them, especially if old man Horford comes back. Who else is a top team in the East that they have to worry about?
You have Orlando. Orlando gave the Knicks. Orlando gave the Knicks a lot of problems last year.
Miami. Miami. Come on, man. Miami does the same thing too.
Miami is not a team to be reckoned with. If they're healthy going into the playoffs, they're going to be a problem.
So let's talk about Miami.
They lost a key component. They lost a very important key player, and that's Martin, who went over to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
he helped them. He stabilized them.
They still got Bam, and they still got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Buckets.
I'm not saying they're gonna be an all-world team. I'm just saying that's a team you're gonna have to watch out for in the playoffs, because they're a veteran team and they have good coaching, which we always talk about, and they have veteran leadership. Man, I'm just telling you.
Okay, so can you name the Heat starting five for me, or can you pull it up real quick?
Yeah, I could pull it up. I can't name them off top
Yeah,
of the
can you
head,
pull?
but
Yeah,
I
can you
know
pull them up
Bam,
real
Jimmy
quick?
Butler, Bam,
Jimmy
Jimmy
Bam,
Butler.
Butler,
What's the white boy? Not
Tyler
Robinson. The other,
Hero.
yeah, Hero.
Tyler Hero. Do they don't have
Vincent.
Lowry no more, do
You
they?
know, Lowry's been
No,
with Philadelphia for a
yeah, I
minute
think
now.
Lowry went to the 76ers.
So
Who's their big man besides Bam?
I don't think they have a big.
That's pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, they have. So yeah, they got Terry Rozier.
Okay, scary Terry.
Jokic, not.
Oh, that's right. He just went over there. That's right.
Nikola Jokic.
Oh, Nikolai just went over there. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they got Jamie Jaquez, and then they still got Kevin Love and Duncan Robinson as depth.
Alec Burke just went over there too. Thomas Bryant is over there. Jamie Jaquez, Tyler Hero, Josh Richardson, Duncan Robinson. I'm just looking at ESPN real quick. I don't know who Khalil Ware is.
So,
yeah, as a rookie. Yeah.
Let me say this.
Kevin Love.
If Jimmy Butler or Bam are going off, they could be a formidable opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But if Jimmy Butler is not putting up 30-something a night, good night to the Heat in the playoffs against the Knicks. I'm just gonna be real with you, because if Mitchell Robinson can stop Bam from going off, and it's just stop Bam from going for like 24-12 or 20-13 or something like that. If he has Bam 16-8 somewhere around there, who's gonna stop the rest of the Knicks on that route? Who they gonna get to guard Randle?
Now let's talk about Randle, because and again, man, shout out to Coach, man. Y'all hit that like button for G Nation Inside Sports, Big Pat Sports Talk, Unpopular Opinion Sports, and Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. Coach, excellent question you put out there. Will the Knicks seriously entertain or actually trade Julius Randle? Now, I've said this to you, Coach. You know, we talk about the Knicks a lot in the back chats. What will Julius Randle, or how will Julius Randle, I should say, fit in to these new Nova Knicks, this new little group that they have, and you know how Julius Randle is. He more like a goon. He kind of think, you know, a little bit like a street dude. So how is he gonna fit into the little Nova Knicks little situation here? I question that. I really do.
See, you say, how is he going to fit? No, the question is, how is Mikal Bridges going to fit in with him and the rest? Because don't forget, when they made the trade for OG, Randle was there, and they went on a run for like 20 or 21-3.
Fact.
So Randle is fine with everyone there.
OG is not part of that Nova Knicks group. Now we're talking about Mikal Bridges. So again, basketball chemistry is key. Basketball chemistry is key. Now, if you got these Nova Knicks, they all in sync, and then Julius Randle.
So basically, what you just saying right there is Randle is, because you're saying it's about those four, and two of them is on the bench. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. How are those two going to affect when you got, and Pat just asked me, what's the starting five? Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, OG, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson. So how are the other two going to, and I get where you're going, but I said it to you again, and you're just carding it. When he was there, when they made the original trade, and it was DiVincenzo and Brunson in the backcourt, and he was a key factor. You know me, NYG. Prior to this, I was a big proponent of getting rid of Randle. And since the trade with OG, I said, no, you cannot do that. You have to see what you have. Now that you bring Bridges in, you have to see. Now you put DiVincenzo and you put Josh Hart back to the bench, which now strengthens your bench, but your starting 5 is very good. How did Julius Randle fit in with them? He and Brunson fed off of each other, and they helped get other guys going.
Can I
and
say
now you go ahead, Pat. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to say this before y'all get into one of them little Knicks spats. Let me tell you about the Knicks, man. You might not like it, NYG. I'm sorry. That starting 5 is legit because you got Mitchell Robinson. He's the goon down low. He's the rebound, block shot, defensive rebound, offensive rebound guy. Randle does not have to take that position now. Randle, you could put him on the wing. If you leave Randle on the wing one-on-one and he puts his back to the basket, it's going to be a problem. Miles Bridges, he doesn't have to be the everything that he was trying to be over there with the Nets. You get him open shots in the corner and an open shot. Yeah, put your face on the screen. Mm-hmm. And you get him open shots at the top of the key on the wing. He can hit the 3. He can do that. And he can drive to the basket. You got Brunson, nasty. I hated that the Mavericks got rid of him because him and Luka could have been a dynamic duo, almost as good as him and Irving, just to be honest with you. And then you got then you got OG out there, 3 and D, and can drive it to the basket and score. If they play as a team and they don't play hero ball, they're going to be an absolute problem for anybody in the league because they have every part of the court locked down. They do with that starting 5. And then you got Josh Hart coming off the bench. You got DaVincenzo coming off. I mean, I always fuck his name up. DaVincenzo coming off the bench. You got Cameron Payne coming off the bench. They almost got a legit starting 5 coming off the bench now. If you really want to get real with it, and they can play you in 2 different ways. They can speed you up. They can put those Villanova boys in and speed you up, or they can slow the game down against teams like the Mavericks, teams like the Bucks, and they got fouls to give with those people coming off the bench. So if you're playing somebody like the Bucks, when those other dudes come in, you can make them goons, foul them, make them hit free throws, slow this game down. Don't let him run up and down the court like that. Foul him. You see
who is the Knicks backup center?
Let me check.
Right now, it's only Precious
Jericho
Achiuwa.
Sims.
I forgot about Jericho.
Jericho Sims, Precious Achiuwa. That's 12 fouls. 12 behind your 2 big men. So when you need to bring those guys out, yes, their defense is not going to be as good as Mitchell Robinson, but I got 12 good fouls behind Mitchell Robinson, and Mitchell Robinson has 6 fouls that he can give too. So when Mitchell Robinson gets in foul trouble, when he's going against somebody like the dude from the Sixers, Embiid, okay, Mitchell Robinson got 2 fouls in the first half. I could bring Achiuwa and Jericho Sims, and they could give me some good fouls to where Mitchell Robinson could get some rest. Is he going to dominate the whole game? No, because freaking Embiid is the guy. He likes to take threes and do all that stupid stuff too. And if he's off, my starting 5 is going to run you off the court. So you can laugh at him. It's always now Robinson gets injured, Daniel. I understand it. He's an important part to this team, whether people with the Knicks fans want to believe it or not. He's one of the key people to this team because if he gets hurt, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Then you might have to run the Villanova boys a little bit more. But if that dude is healthy, and that's a major if he stays healthy, you ain't gonna be laughing at the Knicks this year. I promise you, you're not.
First off, I told Coach and Man Cave on my stream that you guys were gonna need Mitchell Robinson in that Pacers series. Did Coach?
Yes, you did. You did
because I need Coach for my receipts now because I don't remember everything. So I'm pretty sure that's what I said, right? So again, I know basketball. I'm saying now what the Knicks have going on, I agree with you. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to be trash or anything like that. My thing is what the Knicks are going to run up against is they're gonna have a problem in their front court, like I said last year when Mitchell Robinson went down, because they don't have no depth behind Mitchell Robinson. That's why they were so pressed to sign homeboy Hartenstein. They know that they don't have the big man pause to compete with the Celtics and the Bucks and some of the other teams in the Western Conference. They know that. That's what I'm saying. They have to get more depth in the front courts. Mitchell Robinson is a start. I've been saying Mitchell Robinson was needed by the Knicks. I told Coach 2 years ago that Julius Randle was needed by the Knicks. Now, I'm good with everybody questioning my football acumen. You're not going to question my basketball acumen. I know the game, bro, and I'm not fucking rambling. This is how you beat the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. You have to match up in the front court with those guys because they're wing-based play. They're all wing-based teams.
Who?
The Celtics.
That's my point, NYG.
A wing-based team.
So let's because I don't want you to get frustrated. Listen.
Nah. So when you have a wing-based team, right? The Knicks already have the wings to match up with them. What they don't have is the bigger bodies to bang with some of the players in the paint.
That's if Mitchell Robinson is not there. You make a valid point, but when Mitchell Robinson changes that, you see what I'm saying? Because that
I agree.
What's the tall foreign guy over there with
Porzingis.
Okay. So let's say Porzingis is healthy. It's Porzingis, Tatum, Brown, Holiday, Big Al.
No, it's White.
Oh yeah. No.
Derek White's a guard.
Derek White is starting though. They're starting five. Is Holiday?
He's a guard though.
No, Porzingis is starts. They are four guard wing type players with Porzingis. They're legitimate.
Big Al comes off the bench if Porzingis is healthy. Okay,
yes.
That's even better for the Knicks because Porzingis is not a banger down there. I could put Mitchell Robinson on Porzingis and I could be okay. I don't think he's going to destroy Mitchell Robinson like that. Now, who the hell's going to guard Randle? White?
No, it has to be. They're probably going to put Tatum on him.
He's going to eat Tatum alive if you put Tatum on him.
It can't be Brown.
You're going to have to put a wing type player. Now, if Julius Randle wants to go down in the post and just back these guys down, then yeah, you're going to have to send help. You know what I'm saying?
You see what I'm saying?
But what you want to do is you want to force Julius Randle to play an outside game.
Who's going to do that besides Big Al? Who's going to do that besides Big Al? And he's coming off the bench.
And yeah, that's a matchup that you're going to have to deal with. But I'm telling you how you neutralize that matchup. You force Randle to shoot jumpers.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, that's a nice statement. But who's going to do that?
Anybody
if it's
can
not
do
Big
that.
Al. So Big Al is going to have to start, and you're probably going to have to put Porzingis or White on the bench. You see what I'm saying? That takes a lot of scoring off the floor.
I get what you're saying. So if you don't want to get Tatum and Brown in any type of foul trouble dealing with Julius Randle, then yeah, you can put Al Horford on him. But the problem with putting Al Horford on him is you hurt
your bench.
Yes.
Tremendously.
Yes. And the fact is that you could potentially get him in foul trouble guarding those two players. Now, here's the problem that I have with the modern day NBA. When we talking about schematics and stuff like that, is that these players, these so-called superstar players, you got to understand, you got to play both ends of the court. I can't save you just for offense, Jason Tatum. You got to guard fucking the best player on it. That's who you are. You're a fucking superstar. You have to guard.
He's either gonna be on OG or
he's gonna have to
Bridges.
If he's a dominant player and he's a star, he's gonna have to take on that responsibility of guarding Randle or probably OG and Anobi.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one of them
OG.
two, and the Brown will probably be on Bridges.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
because that's a good matchup for the Celtics right there.
Mm-hmm.
But see how you have to talk about Knicks as far as playing them now. You see what I'm saying?
You have to make adjustments for both. And you have
Both
to, like you always talk about. You talk about matchups. So in everything I hear from you is matchup to the Celtics. But I'll be honest with you, bro. You don't talk legit. If you're talking to me about what the Knicks need, yes, you're right. But when you go to things like this,
advantage for the Knicks is Jalen Brunson. I already know that, Coach. You know I know that, bro.
Well,
we can go there.
Okay, no, I wasn't even talking about advantage in that regard, because if you go position by position, they're going to put Holiday on Brunson, and he's going to give Brunson problems. Yes, he is, but Brunson can still get his own. Okay, but now you go to Mikal Bridges. It's either going to be it's not going to be if it's going to be Brown. If you put Brown on Bridges, then that means Derek White has to guard OG, and OG can do a little bit of things. He's bigger and stronger than he is too. So.
Here's what you got to understand about the players that you're talking about. Only two of them can create their own shot, and that's Brunson and Randle. So you're asking players to play defense basically where they just have to put their hands up and contest shots. You're not asking you're not asking players to play defense with their feet. And that's what you want players to do. You want players to play defense with their feet, meaning that they have to guard a mofo off the dribble. You see what I'm saying? If you just have to play defense with your hands and you just got to guard a dude side to side, or if he take a jump shot, that's fucking easy.
Fuck.
How did the Yankees lose that game? But go ahead.
They lost
7-4.
Damn, they went off in that final inning.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Clay Holmes gave up a grand slam in the ninth.
Ramblings. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying, people?
That's what they do in the playoffs,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? But get back to the Knicks. I got a legit question for you and Coach. Can OG create his own shot? Because I don't know that.
I've seen him to drive it to the lane on occasion. Now,
he's consistent. He's not good at it though. Yeah, he's not.
So he's like a slasher then. He's like a 3-and-D slasher. Okay, Mikal Bridges. I believe he could create. He can't create his own shot.
No. I watched.
See, now that's a problem against the Celtics. If what you're saying is true, I'll look it up, but I believe you.
No, Bridges ain't taking nobody off the dribble. I'm telling you, bro. He's a slasher type player, spot up 3-point shooter.
So Mikal Bridges, I don't believe his defense is that good.
It's okay, but
is decent or is he bad?
It's decent. It's not bad.
So you got a decent defender and 2 slashers. I know OG can play some defense. So literally, I will put OG on Brown when it comes to defense. Because if you nullify Brown, and I'm not saying he's going to shut Brown down. That's not what I'm saying. But if you could get Brown to start trying to play street ball out there, you got the Celtics. But if Brown is being efficient, driving to the rim, looking to get to the hole and get to the free throw line, you might have a problem. But I have to see if Mikal Bridges has any type of way of creating his own shot, because that could be an issue if those 2 wing players can't create their own shots, because the Celtics defense could be smothering. White plays good defense, Holiday plays good defense, and Brown plays damn good defense. Their weak point is freaking Tatum when it comes to defense, because he doesn't play defense that well. So will you put Holiday on Brunson? I like that matchup for the Celtics and the Knicks, if that makes any sense, because I think Brunson can still get his, even though Holiday is a monster. He's just going to have to work extra hard. So when he comes down on offense to try to get his points, he's going to have to work extremely hard to get those points, which can tire Brunson on defense. And if you're putting Brunson on Tatum, that might be a problem. A tired Brunson on Tatum is not going to be a good thing. So that's the only team I really see that could give the Knicks problems if those 2 guys can't create their own shot. That can be a problem.
But here's the thing, Pat. Here's the thing, and you both are right. You both are saying, giving excellent points. But just like with Mikal Bridges, right? You got Josh Hart coming off the bench. Josh Hart can create. You don't forget that he can give you a triple double. He definitely don't get you rebounds. He can get you the assists. So those nights that Mikal is not producing and he's not creating, if you need creation,
Josh Hart.
So you can bring Hart in and play him and do that. So I get where
I'm gonna let Josh Hart shoot all fucking day. I will let him.
I don't think you want to do that.
I will. I promise you, I will. Okay. I will let Josh Hart shoot.
He's a streaky shooter. He's streaky.
I'm telling you, bro. He's sleeping on my basketball knowledge. I will let that
sleeping
dude
on
shoot
your basketball
all
knowledge.
day.
But
No. I'm just telling you. I will let that dude shoot all day, and then you know what?
But you just disregarded my point. You really just disregarded my point. I said he can create. Hart can create. He can attack the paint. Mm-hmm. Are you saying he can't? So there you go. I didn't say he can shoot. I said I would use him as a creator, as a facilitator is necessary. There's so many times.
And what I'm gonna do, coach, is play back on him. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna allow him to shoot the jumper. Like my man say here, he can't.
So you're saying that he's like a Draymond Green type.
He's streaky. Yeah, I'm going to play inside and let him take the shot.
Okay.
And if he gets hot, then we'll adjust. But I doubt he does.
If Glenn Wright, because I think Bridges will be a bucket in that system. If Bridges can get his own buckets, it's gonna be a good series regardless. But the Celtics will have to worry about them. But if those dudes can't create their own shot, then there's a problem.
The whole X factor for the Knicks this year is first and foremost, guys got to stay healthy. We all know that. Bro. Yeah, they got to stay healthy. We all know that. Number two, it is on Julius Randle. On certain teams, bless you. On certain teams, there's teams like I'm gonna be honest. Against Milwaukee, they have the length and the size to match up with Julius and the Knicks size because you have Lurch, Brook Lopez, who's there. Now he'll pull Robinson out of the lane because that's all he wants to do is shoot threes. So there you go. So that opens up the lane, in a sense for Milwaukee. And conversely, on the defensive end, you now have the Greek Freak on Julius. So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to call that a wash. So the Knicks do match up with Milwaukee a lot better than people want to give them credit for. Okay. The team that has always last year gave the Knicks the most problem is the Orlando Magic. They are physical on defense, very physical. And Pablo Panchero, I praise this kid to the umpty. He is a matchup problem, for just about any team in the league. Then you just brought over KCP over there. Someone said, he's not that big of a factor. Yes, he is. He's a 3-and-D type of player, and he's a winner. He's won the championship, and he's been in big games. So he's going to help a young team develop and learn and grow. That gives the Knicks problem. They match up with the Knicks a lot better than people will realize. They have, and don't forget about the Wagner boys. They have the team. It's just they're young. They are young. So, and they're growing and they're developing. I keep saying it. They're going to be a team that causes more problem. Team that can match up with the Knicks in terms of their size and length. Cleveland, because they have two 6'10", 7-foot guys that can match up with Robinson. Now, are they overly physical? Not always, but they still match up. And then they create problems also on the offensive end too. So the Knicks are closer to a lot of these other teams, below Boston. I will admit that, because the biggest thing with the Knicks and the Celtics is if Porzingis is healthy, he does one thing that Robinson cannot handle, and that's stay outside. And then when he gets him outside, he can take him off the dribble a little bit and facilitate in that regard. No, is he what's his name down in San Antonio? No. But what I'm saying is matching up against Robinson. Robinson will then foul. That's an issue. That's a problem, especially if the Porzingis is hitting the threes from the outside. Robinson will have no choice. So then the Knicks have to adjust. And what do you do in terms of adjusting to that factor?
Hey, can I say something real quick? Mm-hmm. You sleeping on Bridges.
No, I'm not.
That dude in the system will be dynamite. He can create his own shot. That dude can create his own shot. When you got that floor spaced out the way they have it spaced out.
Yeah. Bro, what do you mean by creating his own shot? Or do you mean he's just gonna take somebody off the dribble and get to the paint? Because he's not gonna do that.
What?
No.
I'm sitting here looking at the dude.
On a consistent basis? No.
He doesn't have to do that on a consistent basis. I'm not looking at highlights. I'm looking at I don't look at highlights the other way. I'm not looking at highlights the way people look at highlights. I'm looking at the way he moves and everything, and compare it to where he's going to be playing. With the Knicks,
not a shot creator. Okay, all right. So when I'm talking about a shot creator, I'm talking about somebody that can ISO and create their own shot and draw in a deep. Bridges is not going to do that on a consistent basis.
I know he's not going to. I'm looking at it. He's not going to do that on a consistent basis. But when I'm telling you, he doesn't have to. With the lineup that he's saying
he doesn't have to, and that he does is two different things. So
no, he can create his own shot at a lower level, not like a Durant or LeBron doesn't even do that well. Not like a Durant or a Booker or anybody like that.
Create a shot pretty well.
No, he bullies his way to the hole. He doesn't create a shot like that, bro. He's just bigger, stronger, faster than everybody in the league. That's a fact. And he bullies his way in there. I'm talking about just being able to slash, come up, stop, pull up, take the shot. He can do that. And that's what they're going to ask him to do. And then if he does get somebody, he does have moves the way he can get a little step back shot in there, which that's all he has to do with the Knicks. He's not with the Nets where he had to be everything. No, he's not that type of player where he has to be everything.
That
he's
I agree
with. Superstar.
I agree with
that. But far as getting the screen, coming up, pulling at the
but him creating his own shot, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, bro.
The ability to and actually doing it is two different things. Pat is saying he has the ability to. What you were saying he doesn't do. Go ahead. You got it.
Nah, you're right. Go ahead. I mean, yeah, he does have the ability to. Yeah, he's in the NBA. He should.
And those corner and wing threes, that's his game. He'll do that all day for you. And I'm telling you, that's where the Knicks are building this team. And he can, if he has to take you off the dribble, if you're not a legit defender like that. Now, if Brown is on him, I don't think he'll be able to do what he did with the Nets if Brown is on him. But somebody like even Derek White, I think he could get his shot off against them. He has a little bit of a
not taking Derek White off the dribble, bro.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
I have to see that to believe
in situations to where you're running off a screen to try to get to him to stop him
off
from
a
doing
screen.
that.
I'm talking about. This is where we're differing at now.
That's what I'm telling you. He doesn't have to be an ISO player with the Knicks. He doesn't have to be.
Yes, but Pat, you're saying that he can create his own shot, and I'm saying he's not good at that based on the fact that he can't do that without help. Creating your own shot means you don't need no screens. You don't need no backdoor cuts or nothing like that. You can create your own shot based off you having the basketball and you facing your man up and you creating your own shot.
I understand that, NYG. But I thought you were saying that he was just like a spot up type shooter. No,
nah. He's a slapper.
Yeah. Like that dude, if you have your system rolling, you swing that ball to him. Quick dribbles, he can get to the hole and get that shot. That's what they need him to do. That's why I'm like, okay, you sleeping on that. He could be a problem with the Knicks.
It's just miscommunication because I'm like, Coach, when they come to basketball, I get literal. you talking about create your own shot. He can't do that shit.
He's not a Booker. He's not a somebody like not a James Harden or a Kyrie Irving or a Luka. No, nowhere's near that. But if he's on a team surrounded by good players, which he
he can come off screens and
Yeah.
shoot and slash to the basket.
He
Absolutely.
can literally give you 18 to 20 a night based off that.
Facts.
And that's what they need him for. Now, I'm going as a team aspect. Now, an individual person where he has to be the leader, you're fucked.
My point being.
But that's the point, NYG. That's what the coach is trying to elaborate to you. That dude's going to be a problem with the Knicks because you're surrounded by so many things on the court. You have to worry about Brunson. You have to worry about OG. You have to worry about
Randle.
You have to worry about all those guys.
It's going to be a problem if they all buy in.
The only thing that will stop that offense from flowing is if Mitchell Robinson is in the way.
I'm worried about Randle. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about if Julius Randle
like Randle,
it's
a problem.
If Julius Randle has his, head into the game or whatever, that's what my concern as a New York Knicks fan would be is Julius Randle bought in to this team?
May I interject?
Go ahead, Coach.
MIG.
Mm-hmm.
When the Knicks made the trade for OG and Randle was he bought in?
OG Anunoby? Absolutely.
Okay. And who was just the guards? Who were the starting guards?
Was it Brunson and DiVincenzo?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So all we're doing is swapping out.
That's a big swap out, though. That's not. I think.
Why do you say it's a big swap out? In what regard? Negatively or positively?
I'm saying it's different. Let me elaborate.
Okay. Yes, they're different. I understand they're different. So I'm not talking about that. But the point I'm making is, okay, when I asked you when they made the trade and they brought OG in, you still haven't answered. It's a closed-ended question I'm actually asking you. So when they made the trade, was Randle bought in at that point in time?
As far as I know, yeah. I mean,
okay.
Did he have any chance but to be bought in?
Okay. So you made this, and if I'm correct me now, you said you're worried about Randle buying in. Now that they brought Bridges in, you're worried about Randle buying in this regard. Did you or did you not just say that?
And like I said before, it's because of the dynamic of the Brunson and the Villanova boys. Remember, OG Anunoby is not a part of that. It's Bridges. Let me clarify for the audience. It's Bridges, Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo. It doesn't have anything to do with Anunoby.
Yes, it does.
Anything to do with
hold on.
Randle.
Okay. So you're basing it off last year, what they did off last year with those boys.
I'm basing it on the fact that they gave up 5 first-round picks for a B-rated player because they wanted the chemistry to work.
Okay.
That's what I'm basing it on.
I get that. So you're saying that without those Villanova boys being in there, they will be disarray. They won't have any.
That's not what I'm saying at all, Pat. You guys are taking it totally left. I'm saying that I don't think Julius Randle is bought into that Villanova Knicks shit.
Okay, but that's the problem.
That's cool. That's cool. Because I'm trying to understand why do you think that the Knicks are just based off Villanova shit, and not based on what they have built as a team, how they built. I'm looking at the team and I'm seeing exactly how they built it.
And I'm looking at the team too, and I'm looking at it as in, yeah, you got all these pieces fitting together. There's one piece that I'm not totally sold on. So you're saying that hold on. If you want me to answer, let me answer. So that's the whole thing that I'm not totally sold on, is the fact that I don't think Julius Randle is completely sold on the whole idea that they're trying to bring. Now, They could have went and got Paul George. They could have went and got other players. They could have saved the money. They could have made other trades. They wanted to do this based on the fact that they were sold on this Villanova Knicks idea, that they were sold on. That's what Jalen Brunson needed to get over the hump. It was not anything to do with Julius Randle. I don't think Julius Randle was begging for Mikal Bridges to come to the New York Knicks. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. But if you think I'm nuts, you think I'm crazy, I'm gonna revisit this situation about
we are going to
revisit. No, Pat. Hold on a second, Pat, because you do this all the time and it gets me pissed off. Stop putting words in my mouth. I never called you crazy. I never insinuated that you were crazy.
I didn't say Coach Ed did. I'm just saying.
You just said y'all. Well, see, it's you, me, and Pat having a conversation. I don't know where this other people come into the equation.
Well, it's Knicks fans, period. They all
again, you're saying Knicks fan, and I just said it. You keep going to the outside, bro, and that's what's frustrating me.
Okay.
I said you, me, and Pat are having a conversation. There's nobody else. Screw the chat. Screw everyone else. Us three. It's us three. And then you just made the statement that y'all think I'm crazy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm compartmentalizing everything. I'm stripping down everything you are saying, bro. But you keep throwing everything together. Just like I asked you about about taking out DiVincenzo for what you call it, but you keep going to the Villanova boys, and I'm specifically talking about one damn thing, but you won't answer that. And just with this, you were sitting here taking y'all and Knicks fans, and I'm saying us three, and I said, stop putting words in my mouth. Coach Ed has never, I respect you way too damn much to think that you are crazy, to call you crazy, to insinuate that you are crazy. I know you know basketball.
I don't care about that, man. That's no sweat off my back, man. Pause. I'm just saying that, I want you to understand the dynamic that is being set in New York. You guys got to understand that you have a volatile player in Julius Randle that is coming back off an injury, hasn't played last year, and now you're bringing in Mikal Bridges, and these guys are all buddy, and they're developing this chemistry, and I don't know what Julius Randle fits into that.
I understand exactly where you're coming from.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. So let me ask you. Let me ask you this, NYG. So you're on the side of believing that Julius Randle is not going to be a team player and not play hero ball. Is that where you're getting to?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's a question mark for me.
And that is a question mark. But what me and Coach is saying, if that dude plays Julius Randle basketball back to the basket, get your points when they put you in a situation where you're on the wing and you're in an advantage situation, and he plays just team basketball, that team is deadly. But I do understand where you're coming from. If Julius Randle does what Julius Randle normally does sometimes, is go down there, dribble between the legs, try to be freaking Kobe, then yes, that is an absolute problem with the quote-unquote Villanova boys. That's what I was trying to get to. That's where the miscommunication is coming from. But to coach's point, he played that type of basketball before he got hurt with the quote-unquote Villanova boys. You're just switching out DiVincenzo for Mikal Bridges. That's it.
You're not switching them out. They're on the same team, though.
I'm just saying. But
the starting five,
Mikal Bridges comes in. That's where you're getting to. The Villanova boys, two of them are on the bench, and they come off the bench. But when they were in there, Julius Randle was playing some ball. That's how they got that hype before they got hurt.
And it's not.
And coach is saying that I seen Julius Randle play that type of basketball before he got hurt. But to your point, you're saying that I've seen Julius Randle play selfish basketball too. And when he gets into his own head, it is a problem. And that can mess up the whole Villanova boys thing, as you call it.
And it's
You
not.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's not no talent thing.
No, it's definitely not talent.
Coach, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a college. It's not a talent thing because
I've never said.
But I'm trying to clarify what I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make because I'm always the misunderstood person for some reason.
No, you're not. I understood you from the get-go.
I really am. So let me.
No, you're not. You're putting words in my mouth. I told you I understood what you were saying the whole time. I've always understood what you were saying because your point is bring it over Mikal Bridges because those are his boys. They won the championship. There's a level of continuity. I get that, bro. I've coached for 41 damn years, so I understand about player continuity and all that stuff.
I played basketball as long as you've coached.
Okay, I get that point. But what I'm saying to you is because you keep saying you don't know, right? Who is the one who got me to change my mind about Julius Randle? Who? Wasn't it you?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so bro, listen. Okay, see, here's the thing. I ask you close-ended questions, and you're not just saying yes or no. That's all I'm asking you. I'm asking because I'm trying to get to my point.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the one that convinced me. You kept saying, "Coach, you're going to need Julius Randle." And I kept saying this and that. Everything that Pat said. Everything that Pat said, I was always frustrated. He's dribbling down into the double team, turning the ball over, turning around, sitting back there, arguing with the referees instead of getting back on the defense.
Facts.
So I've always had a hard problem with Randle and Coach Tibbs. You can pull up all the videos and see. I've sat there, and you are one of the biggest ones that have settled me down and said, "Coach." And then when they made the trade for OG, I said, "Oh, damn, I see what the hell they're doing as an organization. They're building this team around what Tibbs really wants to do as a basketball team." Now, when they brought OG in, the starting five that's why I asked you that earlier, was Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. And they went off. And they went on a run, and they were like 21-3. That's what I keep saying to you. Yes, DiVincenzo and Hart were on the bench. They were a part of the team, just like Deuce McBride is, Jericho Sims. Before he left, Hartenstein. Yes, I get all that.
Who's your backup point guard? Is that McBride?
No, it's either McBride or it's going to be Campaign. One of the two right now. And
that's to Jalen Williams point, and shout out to Jalen Williams. He is part of the Big Blue Crew Pick'em League, so definitely shout out and salute to you, bro. Thank you for joining in and playing Pick'em with us, and shout out to Glenn Wright. Appreciate you too, man. Jermaine Ackerman, and Dan, you. I'm so bad with names. I don't even want to butcher your name, bro.
I'm
tired.
Weiston, that's what I thought.
But
it could be pronounced Weiston.
Right.
But just to sum you two guys up, I believe you get both you guys on the same page. It's just that Coach wants direct yes or no answers, and he's right. You weren't giving them yes or no ansers. And the yes or no answer.
What do you want? Yes or no?
The yes or no answer was
okay.
Did Julius Randle buy in last year when they came after the OG trade when they went 21-3? Yes or no? So Julius Randle wasn't bought in with that system last year.
He was hurt.
No, when they went 21-3, when they first made the trade, Randle was there
with OG Anunoby.
Yes,
but that's not who we're talking about. But yeah, I agree with you. He was
okay. So if he bought in there, is there a chance that he can be bought in now?
Is there a chance? Absolutely. Do I think that's the
all
case?
Coaches, that's all coaches trying to get out of you.
I don't think that's the case. And now you got to understand.
You don't think that he would be bought in? Coach thinks that he would be bought in, and that's the difference between this Knicks team being good or being bad. And it won't even be that bad if Julius Randle leaves. They will still be good. I don't think they'll be championship level.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm going.
They will still be good. But me personally, I have to go off previous data of current previous data. And current previous data shows that dude bought in when they brought those people over there. So I have to go with the mindset that Julius Randle, just because it's Mikal Bridges now, is still going to be bought in because it's the same system, just it could be better because Mikal Bridges is a better offensive player than Josh Hart. And OG being healthy is better than DiVincenzo. You see what I'm saying? And he proved last year when you bring in Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, if you want to get Brunson or somebody a rest that you can keep him in there, and if he's not in foul trouble, he will still be Julius Randle and still play that system. You see what I'm saying? And then you could put him on the bench and bring somebody in. But by that time you bring in the backup guy, the backup big man, you still have your offense coming back in Bridges and Brunson when they get their rest.
Bang, bang. and that's what the Knicks want. But you know what? I think with this Knicks team, I think it's all gonna fall on Tom Thibodeau at the end of the day.
Facts.
Yes.
You do not run your players into the ground. And they gave him a bench this year. So use more than your starting five. That's his biggest problem. That dude can coach.
Well, the thing about it though, last year, all right, because remember, where was Josh Hart and Deuce McBride and all those guys? They were on the bench last year. It's just that we got injured heavily last year. It's not like you lost one or two. That's why I said earlier, you lost your 3 starting big men. You know, so and there were key points, even with Brunson in that game 7 got hurt. So, you know, that's the thing. Everyone says, oh, Tibbs wearing people down. No, it's not. He was he was playing literally 10 to 11 people deep.
Yes, he was.
At times. So I had NYG, that's why I don't understand, because you showed me this. You're like, Coach, he's playing 10 to 11 deep. You know, you need to calm down. So when people make the statement of, oh, he runs his starters into the bench, how can you run your starters into the bench when you're playing 10 or 11 deep?
I think he learned that mistake from the Bulls, and that's where he messed us at. And to be honest with you, that's why Derrick Rose, man, I hated that dude got hurt, man, because he was the shit.
Yeah, he's another Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy,
and to Thibodeau's credit, he was playing his bench pretty well. See, what the thing is with Thibodeau, that dude's a good coach. He just doesn't trust people outside his starters.
That's the problem. He don't trust the young guys.
Okay, but if you go off previous recent data, he trusted a little bit more last year, did he not? It's just unfortunate that they got hurt because Coach just told me you told him about him playing 10 to 11 players, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so why would he stop doing that now that he has a better bench?
I don't know, man. Sometimes these coaches get in their own way. You know what I mean? Like we talked about a little bit with Brian Daboll. Like, hey, look, you know, if you ran that system with Daniel Jones in 2022, you know, why did you come out and try to get cute in 2023 and try to, you know, make this drop back passing offense?
You want to know the difference?
See what I'm saying?
NYG? You want to know the difference?
Sometimes, yeah, got
you want to know the difference? That's because Brian Daboll was just starting coaching. Thibodeau has been coaching for a long fucking time.
But my point, Pat, is that sometimes coaches get in their own fucking way, and they have egos, bro.
That is true. That is very true.
Here's the other thing too. If you're going to talk about Brian Daboll, I'm sorry, Pat, I didn't mean to cut you off though. But if you're going to talk about Brian Daboll there in that situation, okay, it's a progression. You don't always do the same thing your first year because here's the thing: the other teams in the league are paying attention and they're dissecting film. So you need to add on to it. So if you're running, yes, you want to say, well, you had Saquon Barkley, so you should have based it strictly off of that. You still have to progress. You have to try because if you don't, you're not coaching up to your maximum ability. You're not coaching up your players. Period. And that's not just in football. That's all sports. I mean that's all sports. I've done it for years, NYG, and I'm an experienced coach. And if I go to a new place, I'm going to start with some basic foundational pieces. I'm not giving everybody all my stuff in my playbook first year. First and foremost, that's going to overwhelm them Now, basketball may be a little bit different. Some teams may not have as many plays as you do with football. I get that. So you might be able to implement a little bit more. But still, if football you have 200 plays and basketball you have 30 plays, you're not giving your team a full 30 plays the first year you're implementing it. You might give them 70.
No, nobody's gonna do that, Coach. Not to cut you off, but nobody's gonna do that. The only thing I was insinuating is that you completely change your offensive philosophy. You did not just change your play calling. You change your offensive philosophy. And I understand what you're saying, Coach, and what you're saying, Pat, is like, yeah, you don't got to be the same way as last year. We don't want that. We don't want no predictable head coach. But what we don't want is to get away from your strengths just because you feel like this is the way you want to call football, regardless of who you have on your team.
Okay.
I got it.
So the very first year, when Brian Daboll ran that system the very first year, do you think he had a choice to run that type of system, not to run that type of system that very first year with that team?
Well, he had to run it based on who he had.
Okay.
Exactly.
So did they not get new personnel the next year? Didn't they not draft Jalen Hyatt and Robinson came back healthy and they got Darren Waller? Did they not get all those guys? Because he wants to get to his system. He couldn't do it his first year. And fortunately for us, it worked. It did work. Now, to your point, could they have ran the same type of system last year and had 2023 and had a little bit of success? I think they could have if Darren Waller and them were in sync with each other, but that's not normally his style of play caller. They just did it because they did play caller conducive to their roster, which is a great thing for a coach because he literally could have came there and tried to run that air raid and got Daniel Jones' neck broke immediately with that offensive line. So when you're a first starting coach, you're brand new, you have no coaching behind your back besides being an assistant, no head coach experience, and you're taking on a roster that was in disarray, you're going to do that to be conducive to that particular roster that year, unless your expansion team is different, where you get a whole bunch of new players, they've never played with each other and everything, and you can run your system like that. But to your point, yes, some coaches do go back and be hard-headed and bullheaded, like Wink. Wink's system is great when it's working, but when people figure it out, he doesn't change. He keeps doing the same thing. That's why it's feast or famine with Wink, no matter where he goes. That's where they disconnected that year, because I bring it back to the damn it Wink. Like, you see that they see the blitzes coming every time, and every time they're hitting you with a screen, why do you keep doing it? It's about adjusting. Being a coach is about adjusting, and that's where the disconnect comes between maybe you and coach sometimes. I think y'all a dynamic duo, to be honest with you. But
I love coach, and I understand
that. It's just matching between grown men.
I pick at him, you know what I'm saying, and he does the same thing.
The Knicks. That's what I was going to say. You're just doing it because it's the Knicks, but that's where the disconnect comes a little bit between you and coach, because coach is looking at an extreme coaching rate. And that's why he brings it up. I've been coaching for 41 years. I know when you have to adjust, and because you have certain players at certain positions that you will want to upgrade, but you got to work with the motherfuckers that you got right then and there. So I'm going to call it different until I get the people that I want. That's why they brought in Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, Waller at that time before he went off the rails. That's why they brought Theo Johnson in right behind Waller, because they have a certain way they want to use a tight end, and he has that skill set. And that's why they changed it to 2023. And what messed them up, they really believed that offensive line was going to be able to hold up, and it blew up in their faces. And if you want to bash them for that, you are absolutely correct. I'm not here to apologize for what they did last year as far as the offensive line. It was truly a mistake. It was. And I'm quite sure if you could get Brian Daboll in a private room, pause, he would tell you, yeah, we messed up. We really thought that offensive line was together. We thought Evan Neal was going to progress. We thought John Michael Schmitz was going to come in and be what he was. We thought Ben Bredesen played well last year. He would play well. He would get better this year, and it just didn't work out. And that's why it looked like a shit show for those first couple of weeks.
I ain't even realized we was 3 in, bro. We're gonna have to wrap up. We're gonna have to get to Coach's Corner, man. So Coach can wrap up this great college football weekend, man. I must say, man, I enjoyed myself this college football weekend, man. You know, talking with Coach, talking with Pat. I'm not really that a college football fan, man, but I had a good time, man. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, that was a blast, man. Florida State, what are they doing? I need a Woody. What are you doing over there, Florida State?
Pat was frustrated last night. Pat was so frustrated last night.
Hey, Coach, real talk, Coach.
Yeah.
That's the type of coach that I would be. I don't even know if that will be a great coach. But if I see my players doing just the dumbest stuff that you can do, and I see a team that's just running one play and I'm getting beat, me and my defensive coordinator would have had a real heart-to-heart. Like, what are you doing? And that's where it comes to the CEO type coach. Because if you're just an offensive coach with that Florida State team, it's a wrap. Because that defensive coordinator is like all over the place. And I don't know, man. I've coached Little League for a little bit, and I toned it back because I know those were kids. But I had a conversation with the defensive coordinator of my Little League team. They were between the ages of 10 and 12. And I'm saying, you see that they running this little dude on this little toss crack play. Why aren't you bringing somebody down to get? And we had a whole argument, and words were said, and fists were almost thrown, but he saw that I was dead serious. He didn't want no part of that, so he just quit. And I wound up coaching the whole team for 2 years.
Saying what no part of that.
No, he didn't want no part of that. It was, and to be honest with you, he was mad because we weren't getting paid that much and whatever. I said, this is for the kids, man. This is to get these kids in an environment where they don't have to be in the park with gangsters all the damn time. They can actually come here and feel a team, feel an organization, and maybe they take that into school, and maybe they take that and build their own organizations because they play in an organized way, and we as coaches have to protect these kids and show them. That's why I didn't do it on the field. I was mad. Now, don't get it twisted. I was mad. I didn't curse in front of them kids. But after the game, we had it out in the parking lot, and they was like, hey, listen, he quit. He said he couldn't work with you. I was like, okay, that's cool. I never attacked him or anything. He squared up. He went on his back foot. So I'm like, okay, you ready?
He ain't going on his back foot. Huh?
So if you ever fought before, somebody get on their back foot, they squaring up. It's like, okay,
back foot,
yeah. It's time to shoot some shots. I'm seeing if I have to duck one real quick. But Coach, like I said, I wasn't trying to, be loud and everything on the stream, but man, that was just frustrating, man. For real.
I understood. I understood. That's why it didn't bother me, man. I understood 1,000,000,000% because it was frustrating for me too. So, but
what happened?
The football game last night, Florida State and Boston College.
Just talking about football.
Like, say, Lou, if you saw a team and they was running the same play against your defense, and you looking around like you looking at your defensive coordinator, like you don't see them keep running the same play the whole game, like the same play. That Florida State game, I wish you could have seen it, bro.
They didn't make no adjustments at all.
None. And
it's I'm like the Uno game, bro.
Yeah.
It's like the Uno game. The same
the Uno
shit, bro.
Came out
he
and
was
Florida
mad
State
because they ain't make no
like with the quarterback. This quarterback is struggling. Why you keep putting this dude in empty sets, knowing that he's not going to be able to get the ball to the receivers? What are you doing? And you know the Boston College quarterback, he's not like that as far as throwing the ball. They're just running a bunch of misdirection. Why does your defense keep following the damn misdirection and allowing this damn running back to be on a freaking loop route at the back of the field, a wheel route? I said, why is a running back got 5 catches for over 100-something yards and 2 touchdowns?
Because the defense
on the same wheel route.
We're running the same
not
route.
over pursue, for one. And they obviously ain't making no damn adjustments.
So obviously your play calling is bad.
If your defense keep following the misdirection, you have not taught them not to over pursue.
Facts.
They giving up the lane. Pause.
So either get some people in there that know how to pay attention, or you got to coach these dudes up. One of the two is messed up, and it looked like it was both. It looked like the defensive coordinator was confused too. I'm like, what's going on?
Y'all crazy, man. Shout out to the chat.
Listen,
shout out to Jada God. Shout out to
I'm
Jada
laid back, but put me in a competitive environment. Put me in a competitive environment. You'll see the real me come out.
Shout out to Glenn Wright. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Frank. Coach, man. It's time for Coach's Corner, man. I want the real scoop on this college football weekend here, man. It's been a long time. I know you've been fired up. I was able to catch some of the games with you, man, but I want you to really get into, man, the heart of the city, man. This is the heart of the city, man. This is what we talk about. So get into Coach's Corner, man. Tell us what's going on with the women and the youngsters, man. Let's get it.
All right, guys. I really appreciate everyone. First and foremost, everyone. Great show, great interaction. I really appreciate everyone. Yeah, I know. It seems like we were testy. No, that's just how brothers get. And that's how we do. So, I know what he's doing. He knows what I'm doing. So, and it's all love. So, but getting into Coach's Court, I'm always going to start with the ladies. You know how I feel about the ladies. So. I'm going to start with the New York Liberty. Last week, they played 3 games last week. They played against I have it right here. They played against the Phoenix Mercury, the Los Angeles Sparks, and the Seattle Storms, and these were all on the road. So they initially beat the Mercury, led by Brianna Stewart, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. That was on Monday. On Wednesday, they actually fell to the last place Sparks, 98-88. De'Erica Hamby and Rickea Jackson helped lead the Sparks, breaking New York's 7-game winning streak during the process. And then New York on Friday went to play the Storm, and they defeated the Storm 98-85. Brianna Stewart had 32 points. Sabrina Ionescu, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. So it's getting very intriguing. As we get down to the wire, moving on to the complete WNBA. Now we're going to be talking about the playoff positioning, and it's really winding down, as you guys can see. They got to fix that. New York's in first, Connecticut's in second, Minnesota's in third now. Vegas is in fourth. They're up because for a while, Vegas was in the 5th spot. Seattle's in the 5th spot. Indiana now has overtaken the Phoenix Mercury for the 6th spot, and that's big. For a while, Indiana was either out of the playoff or in the 8th spot, and they've worked hard, and I'm going to talk about them in a little bit. Phoenix is in the 7th spot, and Chicago and Atlanta, they're basically tied right now for the last playoff spot. Some publications have Atlanta of the playoff positioning. So it's going to be very, very contested. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be hot, but I love it. Now the Fever, they're the hottest team right now. They've moved into the 6th spot. And, like I said before, Indiana is actually led by 2 elite players, Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. Mitchell and NYG, you always talk about her. She scored since the Olympic break over 20 points in each game that she's been back. She's been that dynamic, and she is just phenomenal with her play. Caitlin Clark, she's broken the assist title. She's also solidified the Rookie of the Year title, and deservedly so. So, Angel Reese in Chicago, they're bringing up the rear. They've been struggling, especially after the trade. But Angel Reese continues to dominate, doing her double-double thing. She broke the title that Tina Charles previously held. As you see there, Vegas has moved up into the 4th spot. A lot of that started with they started out slow with Chelsea Gray. She was out for injuries, but she's come back. They've played much better. They're still working to build up to their championship medal. So, and as you see, the top 3 teams, it's that close. Minnesota in the 3rd spot. They're literally a game behind Connecticut. And I just see that Connecticut lost today. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow to see the update with all the positionings. I want to see how close the Minnesota has gotten. So, and New York, it's not secure for them right now in terms of the number 1 seed, but they're close. I believe they have another 6 games left to play. So with that, they have the opportunity to close out and secure the number 1 seed overall. Now they do play 3 of their games that they play in the next few games are against they play Minnesota, they play the Aces, and they play Seattle. Those are 3 playoff contending teams. So if they can secure those wins,
I'm gonna end it here, bro.
Okay, bro, no problem. You have a good night, man.
I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm sorry, bro.
Mm-hmm. But again, New York, if they secure those wins, I think they're definitely going to secure the number 1 seed. Everything else is against Atlanta, Dallas, and Washington. So they're in good position to pick up the number 1 seed, and that's what they definitely need to move on in the playoffs and get control of what they need to do in terms of the number 1 the playoff positioning. It's imperative that they win the home court because they have the best home court record in basketball. I believe they're 14-2. So it definitely will position them well to get a championship if they can go ahead and solidify the number 1 spot. But Minnesota is tough. That's the team that is most concerning to several New York Liberty fans because they've given New York a tough fight in all the games that they played. So New York definitely has its work cut out for them to hopefully get that first championship. So, but that's going to be it in terms of the ladies. Next, I'm going to move over to college football. I'm going to start with the Syracuse Orangemen. They, played their first game. Let me make sure I get the right screen for you guys. And Syracuse played the Ohio Bobcats. All right, so it's not the Ohio State Buckeyes. It is the Bobcats from the Ohio University. So definitely want to make sure there's that clear distinction. Let me bring up the stats from the game. And Syracuse ended up winning the game. It was pretty close it's at an early part of the game, but they ended up winning 38-22. They were led by Kyle McCord, who's a transfer from Ohio State University. McCord, as you can see, was 27-39, 354 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So definitely played very well. Navarro Parker for Ohio, moderate numbers, 18-30, 181 yards, 1 interception. So, but Ohio, they ran on the Orange. They gained a total of 290 yards, man. That's way too much. especially for a ACC program when you're playing a MAC program. But, they were also led by LaQuint Allen, who's had 98 yards on 15 carries. Overall, they rushed for 136 yards. But again, for Ohio, Anthony Tyus, 16 carries, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, man. He was killing them. He definitely was killing them. So I know Coach Brown, has spoken about making certain adjustments in the defensive game, and I think that they will be there next week. So for Ohio in the pass game, receiver Coleman Owen, 10 receptions, 137 yards. For Syracuse, Arande Gatson II, 7 receptions, 108 yards. Gatson is a former wide receiver. Now they have him at tight end. He's more of a slot tight end, so definitely a good player. One player who had a phenomenal game was Trebor Pena. In the passing game, 6 receptions, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. But in the rush game, he was 3 of 9, but he also got 1 touchdown there. So he had a total of 3 touchdowns. So, he was very productive for the Redmen. So next up for them, they're going to be taking on number 3 Georgia Tech, who's coming off a win over Georgia State, 35-12. This game will be Saturday at 12 o'clock, and it'll be in Syracuse. So definitely going to be a tough game for Syracuse. Georgia Tech is 2-0, and they're hot. So the Orangemen definitely need to step up the game. They need to improve in terms of their offensive game. And I think once they do that, they're going to be able to step up and show their mettle in reference to the competition. Now, the Orange also had 2 players who gained some recognition. Let me bring those up for you. One is linebacker. Here it is. Linebacker Marlo Wax. He earned ACC Linebacker of the Week for his game against Ohio. So he had a pair of tackles for a loss, 6 total tackles, a sack, a forced fumble in the win. He moved into sole possession of second on the all-time forced fumble program, forced fumbles with 9, and he trails Hall of Famer in professional and college, Dwight Freeney, in terms of sacks. Also, Kyle McCord, he earned a weekly performance honor after he made the Davey O'Brien Great 8 award this week. So kudos to those 2 players for making those awards, and it's good for Syracuse, going forward. So again, like I said, shout out to them, for everything that they're doing there for Syracuse. One thing I want to touch on real quick, in terms of basketball for Syracuse, Kenyon Anthony, son of former NBA New York Knicks, Carmelo Anthony, he's going to be having an in-home visit tomorrow with Syracuse. This was reported by Deshaun London of 247 Sports. So that's a big thing. I mean, Anthony also is scheduling other visits. He has a visit next week with USC, and he's also scheduling a visit for Ruckers. But in terms of rankings for 247, he's the number 31 overall prospect and the number 5 shooting guard in the class of 2025. So that's a big thing for Syracuse and anyone who gets him. I'm sorry, go ahead. Who was that?
Oh, no, I was just my bad.
No, I thought you were going to ask me a question. So next thing I'm going to jump on is college rankings. So you were talking about the games there. So we can talk about that a little bit. Let me bring up the rankings.
Okay.
The AP rankings actually came out today. So I'm also going to get into here it is. I'm going to talk a little bit in terms of bowl projections. So, but again, we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Number 1, no doubt about it. They've been number 1. They defeated number 14 Clemson. I mean, they totally dismantled.
Yeah, they did.
34-3, and it wasn't even, to me, it wasn't even that close, man. I think they kind of pulled off the dogs. But yeah, to dismantle Clemson the way they did in a ranked team like that's big to me. So their defense is elite. I'm actually looking at the game right now as we speak on ESPNU. So
the replay.
Yep.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off them.
Yeah, they beat the brakes. They beat the peanut butter and jelly out of them. You name it, whatever you want to say. So, but yeah, they're now number one, and this is the AP poll. So next week they're playing Texas Tech.
Tennessee Tech.
Tennessee Tech. Sorry,
that's another one.
It don't matter what Tech it is. Yeah.
Once it's taking the name, it's over.
Next up at number 2 is Ohio State. As you see, they beat Akron 52-6. Jeremiah Smith, I saw the highlights. Definitely a nice young player who's developing. They have I can't say this kid's name for the life of me.
Ibuka.
Yeah, Sabuka. Yeah, I mean they're to me wide receiver U. They really are.
Hey, stop being disrespectful, sir.
LSU.
No, I'm not, bro.
Hey, what is with you in the SEC, sir?
God, it has nothing to do. Go look at the Ohio State receivers in the NFL.
You got Chris Olave. You got
Wilson.
Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You got Marvin Harrison Jr. now.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? You got McLaurin.
You got what you call it with Seattle.
Okay.
Ooh,
that's 5.
Decent point.
That's 5. Name somebody else.
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
They still ain't fucking with LSU.
You got top 5, right? Okay, you got Jamar Chase, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Malik Nabers, you got LSU. Odell Beckham was that dude at the beginning, but he's not like that.
Okay.
You got
Juice
Trey Palmer
Landry.
over there. Yeah, Juice Landry, Trey Palmer. Well, you talking about dudes right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about right
you
now.
might have a point. You got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. You got Malik Nabers. Yeah, that's it. As far as top guys, but those 3 guys are way better than the guys that you named.
Look, y'all don't think Brian Thomas Jr. going to do nothing?
But we're talking about people. Well, Brian Thomas Jr., if you want to put him in there, because we put in Malik Nabers, so you got Brian Thomas Jr.
I mean,
that's 4 to 5.
You want to battle it out, it's semantics with whatever. So, the point being is Ohio State does produce some good receivers.
Yes, they do.
And the kids are going there and they're developing. So that's my whole point. And I feel sorry for Western Michigan. I think they're going to totally destroy them. Coming up, Akron, I think is it interesting. There are some things they were talking about they did, but again, it's the first game. But the biggest thing is from the first game to the second game, that's when you see the most improvement. So that's why I said I feel sorry for Western Michigan. So and Ryan Day, he has the target on his back. He really does. There's no excuses for him. So. But next up is the Texas Longhorn, another SEC team.
Yeah.
They're up from 4-3. They defeated Colorado State 52-0. We don't even need to say anything about anything else, man. This was beyond woodshed. This was going back deep into the forest and giving them a good spanking. So, but the big game. Next week
Michigan.
At Michigan, 12 o'clock on Fox.
And the reason why there's going to be a big game is it's at Michigan.
Yes.
So you don't know what's going to go on.
No, you don't.
But somebody ain't scored a point against the SEC yet. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Say what?
So nobody has scored a point against the SEC.
Yeah. Okay. And the top teams.
So
nobody has scored a point.
The top teams. Okay, the top teams. Okay, Pat. No, we're talking about those two. Because I was going to say Virginia Tech did score on Vanderbilt. So but that's neither here nor there. So
Miami destroyed Florida. Us.
So
but our top teams, you ain't seen that 1 point yet.
But Texas, you got to respect what they're doing. They're playing very well. They're hungry, especially after last year, losing in the playoffs. So definitely a big game. Alabama up to number 4.
Man, Alabama ain't the same team as they was. Come on now.
Hey,
now
you still ain't seen the point yet.
This is what I'm going to say. No,
I mean, look who they playing though, bro. They playing
Alabama has always done this. Alabama has always done. Alabama has always done this, man.
Where is Western Kentucky? I didn't know the state of Kentucky had a western side.
Yeah, they're called the Hilltoppers. But
right.
The
hills have eyes.
The Hilltoppers have always
Alabama. So obviously,
the Hilltoppers. They usually have a decent team, and they're usually a good passing team. So I need to see more from them going forward to justify this win. But still, Alabama, they look a whole lot different. They're playing a lot faster than they did under Nick Saban because of Daboll, because of the offense. Remember, their head coach came over from Washington, so they're playing a lot more up tempo. So. And I think this system fits Milroe a little bit more. So
it's more wide open for him.
I just got to update. The Fever are officially back in the playoffs, it looks like. Just getting my updates now. Yeah, it says, they're in the playoffs. So they're officially in the playoffs. So there we go. What seed? I don't know, but they're in the playoffs. So, but yeah, Milroe's 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. So, but again, they play Saturday night, South Florida, another one. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, are up from 7. Big win against Texas because they beat Texas A&M, who was 20 at the time. Okay. So that's the point. So, and it's a road win for Notre Dame, so.
Yeah, that's true. It was in Texas.
It's their first road win, first win on the road against a ranked SEC team since defeating Tennessee in 2004. So, you got to respect that. Saturday they host Northern Illinois in South Bend on NBC. So going to be an interesting beatdown against Northern Illinois.
Beatdown.
Yeah. Hey, is the SEC the top four of the top teams of the top 6? Go ahead, Coach. That's another 0 too.
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're 4 to top 6. Yeah, and hey, look. The Big Ten, their teams dropped in the top 10, even with wins. So some of that is because of the SEC, and also because they look bad. Look at this: Ole Miss beating up on Furman, an FCS program, 76-0. Jackson Dart.
I just want to let y'all know our top 4 teams in the top 6 is still not a point put against them.
Jackson Dart had 418 points. In the first yards in the first half. So that's the most. So that's dominating. Now they're playing Middle Tennessee.
That's
15 on Saturday. Yeah, we know. The Oregon Duck dropped from 3 down to 7. They defeated Idaho 24-14. I did my research on Idaho. They are actually ranked in the FCS in the top 7. Top 8, 7 or 8. But that's because of the conference that they play in, because they play with South Dakota State, North Dakota State, North Dakota, Montana State, who are all top 1 through 5. So, but this is impressive for them to go toe-to-toe with the Oregon Ducks. So, but kudos to them, and not a good look for Oregon, especially coming into the Big Ten. Now, they're going to have a big game against Boise State because their running back just went off for like 270-something yards. So it's going to be, 6 touchdowns. So it's going to be 10 o'clock on Peacock. So, but yeah, this is going to be a big test for them. So we'll see if they're going to be the truth or, if they're going to be an aberration. And if they struggle with Boise, sorry, they're going to have a hard time in the Big Ten. That's just my opinion. So next up is the Nittany Lions staying at 8. I think they should have been over Oregon personally because West Virginia is still a good team. They really are. And they totally dismantled West Virginia 32-12. So, and look at this. Penn State is not usually known as an offensive team. 2 scores of only over 40 or more yards against West Virginia. and they had 3 such scores like last year. So it's
Drew Aller.
Did they start waking up? So that's the thing. So that's why I said I would put them over Oregon right now. Here's another SEC team. Oh, and they play Bowling Green at noon. Bowling Green up from 11-9, defeating Murray State. Go ahead, Pat. 51 to nothing.
Another 0.
Wow.
So
where's Miami?
I will get to them. You'll see. Buffalo is next up on the slaughter board. They're definitely gonna be carving up some buffalo meat on Saturday. So not no buffalo wings. I'm talking about buffalo meat. Next up is Michigan. Michigan is at 10, down 1 spot. Defeated Fresno State 30-10. Look at this. Michigan had 89 yards of offense in the first half. So, and you have, your head coach who's the offensive line coach from last year. So, I don't know what's going on over there.
So, is that 5 Big Ten, 5 SEC teams in the top 10?
Yeah, it's 4 in the it's 4 of the SEC and 3 of the Big Ten and
How
1
you
independent.
not gonna have Miami top 10?
Because they were ranked low and they beat Florida. They beat us. We are trash.
Next up is Utah. They were 12 up to 11. Utah is tough in the Big 12, 49-0. Cameron Rising, who's been there for 100 years, 5 touchdowns. That's a career high, but he's starting to get the feel. It's going to be an interesting game playing Baylor. This is going to be their first Big 12 game. Saturday at 3:30. Baylor was 3-9 last year, but they were usually prior to that a good program. So I want to see if Coach Aranda gets the Bears rebounding. If not, this is going to be another beatdown. So here you are, NYG. They're the Hurricanes. They're up 7 spots.
Mm-hmm.
They're 7 spots though, so that's a
They
big
should be in
jump.
the top 10.
It's a big spot. It's going to be hard to really go from 19 into the top 10.
So they're not better than what's the other team up there? Utah. Utah.
It's
go ahead, Pat.
It's based on the rankings. NYG. They were ranked 19th,
and
now Florida was ranked. If Florida was
I
ranked, yeah, they'd probably get up there. But Florida wasn't ranked. We weren't ranked like that. You see what I'm saying?
You got Cam.
Go ahead.
No, you're right, Pat. Finish up.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it was a Florida team that was good, like
SEC team, though.
I got you, NYG. If we were ranked, like, let's say we were ranked 15th or 17th, and they beat us like that, they probably would have jumped Utah.
It would have been at least 11, maybe even top 10s of Michigan.
Yeah. Who did Utah beat? Go down.
They beat Southern Utah.
Southern Utah.
Who is that? They even have
beat them 49-0. They did what they were supposed to do.
But look what Miami did. They beat Florida.
But Florida is not a good team, bro. That's what he's trying to say to you.
We're not a good team this year.
You're looking at the name. You're just looking at the name, NYG. And it's not about that. See, that's why I'm trying to get you to understand. First and foremost, they were ranked at 19. To jump up into the top
7 spots, that's much respect.
Now, if you had said
I could respect that if they was 19th and they jumped 7.
Now, if they would have beat us 76-0 or something like that, yeah, they would be top. They'd probably be like number 8, number 7.
So probably if they win the next game, they'll probably be
Florida. And I'm going to say this: these teams know each other, and a lot of these kids went to high school together. They competed against each other, and just because it's a
major.
No, it's not a HBCU. Don't think that they're going to. There have been times that Florida A&M.
Absolutely.
Now. Do I think Miami's going to win probably like 40 points? Yeah, I do. But Florida A&M is a good school. So, and that's what I want to see. Can Florida A&M at least be in contest again?
I know why you doing this, NYG? Sorry.
Yeah, he's ACC
guy.
Yeah.
I know why you doing this.
What?
Next up is USC. USC. Now look, NYG. Just to our argument earlier. USC was at 23. They jumped up 10 spots. Why?
Because
they beat number 13 LSU. That's why they jumped up that many points. If Florida was ranked higher, then they would have jumped higher. So
let's say that score was 41-20. USC would be top 10.
So here you go, Millen Moss. What he threw for over 350 yards and a 75 completion percentage, man. I didn't realize it was 75.
I didn't know he had that high of a completion percentage that game. Now that was a damn good game, Coach. I love calling that game.
That was the game of the week for me. Just sitting back watching that game, I was just, man. And I've watched the replay, and it just, you go back and watch. For me, I go back and watch, and I'm in love with it. So that's an instant classic, and I can always watch that game. Next up for USC, another Utah school.
What's good?
So Zion, Trojan fan, there you go, talking about his mighty Trojan. Fight on. So next up, another SEC team. Oh, there's the first points scored against the SEC team.
Top SEC team. It's like 500-3.
They defeated Chattanooga 69-3.
They ain't play nobody though.
It's the first week.
NYG. Nobody ever really does right now. A couple of teams are making the adjustment because
some teams did play some pretty tough teams.
As I was saying, with the new change in the playoff, that's why you're seeing that now. Prior to, see, what you don't understand when it comes to football, like I could pull up Ruckers' future schedule. They have teams scheduled up for like 5 years down the road. So sometimes and they've always that's why people have the issue with it. They always start out with cupcake games. To be brutally honest, these teams, they're getting a couple $1 million to come to Tennessee and get their butts kicked. So that's what it's about. So you'll see changes as we go forward. But again, their quarterback 314 yards in a half. So impressive. So we'll see as they keep going, because guess what? They're playing the ACC team.
Yeah.
They're playing in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's a big game. That's a big game on Saturday.
When is that? Call that one,
is that Saturday? Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Saturday in Charlotte, 7:30 p.m. on the ABC.
Oh, snap.
That might be the game to call, Coach.
Damn, I wonder if I can get tickets to that game.
That was Pat, Colorado and Nebraska.
Oh,
that might be the game to call too.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so it's like I get it. Colorado is the intrigue. That's why
I don't know how to get that stream though. Like
it's on ABC. It's on ABC. College football. I'll show you how to get those streams. I'll show.
Next up is another SEC team. Oklahoma defeated Temple. Sorry, Temple. You're not Temple tough this week. 51-3. Jackson Arnold is the third.
It was good in basketball. Remember with Don Chaney?
Don Chaney,
yes.
Yeah.
So they want to call that Boone to come in there one time.
yeah. So this one, I was intrigued until Houston got their butts kicked. So I think this is going to be another shellacking. Even though Houston is in the Big 12. For Oklahoma, Houston lost to Nevada. I think they lost to. Yeah. So, this will be on Saturday at 7:45. Here you go from the Big 12. Oklahoma State, they're at 17, up one spot. Now they defeated South Dakota State. This impressed me because South Dakota State is the defending champions. Yeah, and they're the defending champions of the FCS level, and they beat them by 24 points. I've seen South Dakota State take on FBS teams, and they might lose by 10, 12 points, 24 points. That's big. So now this is a big game too.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas is definitely a tough team in the SEC. Saturday at noon on ABC. So that's a big game too. So next up in the Big 12, Kansas State. They beat University of Tennessee Martin 41-6. Moved up from one spot. Third straight opening win. So now they go to Tulane. That's a little dangerous.
You want to know something? You want to know something funny about Kansas State? I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story. So I used to play the NCAA football game or whatever, and we started like this little dynasty league with some friends of mine on this one, like the online thing first start going on Xbox or whatever, and I had Kansas State. That was my team. You know what I'm saying? And I was kicking ass.
That's because that's when they had Jordy Nelson. Byron Lockett came from there.
Man, yo, that
used to be
was
the shit
nasty.
Back in
the day. They definitely were.
I just thought that was funny.
That was a Bill Snyder offense. So they've always been that type of team in the past. So and they're getting back to what they used to be. They're in Kansas, Manhattan. They're actually in Manhattan, Kansas. So
that's funny too. Yep.
All right, first loss, y'all can go.
Here you go. LSU, tough loss, but respectable. Brian Kelly, slamming the table, whatever the case may be. Taking, saying whatever. I don't like that man. Sorry, that's just me. So. And that's tough for the SEC to get the loss because of him. So next up, they take Nicholas State, and I'm going to be honest, he's just petty. He might put 100 points on these boys. So and it wouldn't surprise me. Next up is the Kansas Jayhawks. They're not just a basketball elite team anymore. So a basketball school anymore. They're up from 22-19. Defeating Lindenwood 48-3, and now they end up going to Champaign to take on Illinois. That's going to be a good game. Illinois is a tough-minded, grinding team, so will Kansas be able to handle that physicality? We will see. So another team from the Big 12, Arizona, man, 61-39. Area. McMillan, 304 yards. I think it was 10 receptions for 304 yards. So big performance, big game. Their quarterback is lights out. Their offense is that dynamic. So it's going to be interesting to see when they battle Northern Arizona, one of their local teams. So we'll see what happens. So next up, the Iowa Hawkeyes defeated Illinois State 40-0, up from 25-21. This is the most points they've scored since 2021, man. Big game, Iowa State. This is the backyard brawl for them. So, man, this game is always gritty, is brutal, is tough. And if you ever watch it, and it's also a trophy game, I think
that's crazy. Why are they playing so early?
Because of the playoff system and because of the scheduling. The Big Ten plays now 9 conference games, and I think Iowa State does too. So, you only have 3 open spots, and those are usually in the beginning of the season. So, but yeah, it's still gonna be a war. So, and they know each other. So, here's the ACC team. ACC team that moved up that was unranked. There you go, NYG. They defeated Austin Peay 62-0. Tyler Slow is the first quarterback since Lamar Jackson to have 4 passing touchdowns in an opener. So they played Jacksonville State. I think they'll definitely take care of them. Georgia Tech, another unranked ACC team. Now they're getting
Georgia Tech been putting work in. For real. I ain't gonna front.
Georgia State, it was a little let down, but I think it's because, you're coming back from Ireland, after Florida State, big game, there's that little letdown. So, but Haynes King recorded his 8th career game with a passing touchdown, rushing score. So definitely, a good quarterback. But again, they're going up to the Carrier Dome to take on Syracuse. So We're going to see.
They're gonna whoop Syracuse, man. And no disrespect, man. I know this heart of the city, and I feel bad for saying that because we support the NYC teams, man. But Georgia Tech is the hope for the ACC this year. Them in Miami.
But now you have NC State. NC State, here we are, defeated Western Carolina. Yeah, because you are Carolina, you're a Carolina fan, so I get it. But yeah, they still need to be respected.
I'm starting to see you got a lot of bias in you, boy.
Yeah, he does. He does. He won't admit it, but he does. They definitely went out to produce. I thought you left.
All right, Lou.
What the hell?
There we go. My goddamn own brother shows up right when he needs to.
Next up, they take on Tennessee. So this one I did not agree with. I'm sorry. Clemson did not deserve to be in the top 25, especially after getting your ass handed to you, and you only get dropped down 11 spots. I don't see it. You only scored 3 points. I don't see it. I don't see it. You have Boston College, who just missed, Boise State, Iowa State, Memphis, Nebraska, SMU, Washington. These schools deserve at least, to me, a better opportunity. And it's not because they're ACC. I mean, because Clemson is ACC. It's because you got your butt handed to you. Bro.
It's based off the name on this one, Coach.
Yeah, I know that's what it is.
This is politics.
Yeah, I get it. So it's just, when I see that, and anyone else, they would have been dropped out. But it is what it is. Next up is Appalachian State.
So do you agree with Zion that they shouldn't be ranked?
Cool, Clemson. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't be ranked.
They're not ranked. So, I definitely have them out. So, you lost 34-3, and it wasn't even that close, bro.
Yeah, they pulled out the ring.
It was not that close. I mean, what are they doing over there? You don't want to take advantage of the transfer portal, and I get developing, young and, freshmen and all the way up. I respect that part. But if you want to win, you need to also bring in transfer portal kids to help, fill spots while you develop these kids. That's what everyone else is doing. But, oh, well, you keep doing whatever, and you're going to put your program into mediocrity. So, I don't feel bad for you, getting your butt handed to you. So, but it is what it is. So, next thing I wanted to talk about real quick is a little bowl projection. This one is going to be biased related. Yes, it is. And where is it? Here it is. No. Here it is. Now it's going to start out. First and foremost, this article was written, and this is on ESPN, and this is written by Kyle Bonogra and Mark Schlabach. He's usually, presentable. He starts out with the college playoffs. So, and each one says who do they think is going to, be positioned where. In the 12 versus 5, they both have Alabama, but they have the group of 12 that they're going to go up. The best is either Boise State or Memphis. Right now, I'm more leaning towards Memphis and early because I think Boise is back to being Boise. So, but we'll see. The 11 versus 6 both have Texas. This also says these teams did not win their conference championship. So, and then you have Arizona and Kansas going up against them. In both of these games, SEC wins. Next up, you have Ole Miss at 10 going up against Notre Dame. This one,
whooping.
I know Notre Dame is going to kill Ole Miss. So
you crazy as hell.
No, I'm not. It's at Notre Dame.
I don't care where it's at. They're going to be
in December. No, they're not. Ole Miss is kind of like the Miami Dolphins.
Don't they play these at neutral sites? They don't play that at Notre Dame.
Yes, they do. The first round. See what it says? At. They're at.
Oh, hell no.
No, that's how they do it for the first round. So, and then in the 8-9, you have both have fit Oregon in there, but Bonagra has Oregon against Michigan, while they have Penn State versus Oregon. So they both have big teams, Big Ten teams in against each other. So, so I think if Oregon is here and Michigan is here, then that's telling me Oregon lost the Big Ten title, but Michigan as well. And right here, this tells me Penn State is over them. I would pick Penn State over Oregon in this situation. So that's the first round breakdown. They just do a little. This is on ESPN. So if you guys want to see it, you can go pick it up. And then here you'll have in the quarterfinals, Texas versus Utah, Alabama versus Utah. That one is at the Fiesta Bowl, December 31st. January 1st in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. They have Alabama here. They have Alabama and Miami and Texas and Miami. So, and these are quarterfinal games. So the next one is the Rose Bowl, Notre Dame versus the Ohio State, Ole Miss versus the Ohio State. See, Pat, there you go. One has Ole Miss, one has Notre Dame. So we're both right. Next up is the Sugar Bowl, Georgia versus Oregon in both. So they figure Oregon wins going forward. So, and then the national championship game, semifinal, the Orange Bowl, Georgia versus Bama in both, SEC. And then you have the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State versus Texas or Miami championship game, Georgia versus Ohio State. So SEC versus Big Ten. So there you have it.
SEC versus SEC.
Yeah, all right, whatever. And just for those of you who follow, because I do follow the HBCU, the Celebration Bowls, Florida A&M versus NC Central. NC Central right now to me is running HBCUs or versus Alabama State for a slate back. And where's the one I'm looking for? It's December 28th. I was upset when I saw one of them said this. Here we go. They figure, NYG, you with me? Is he with me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See, that's why I wanted him to see this. This is the Pinstripe Bowl. Banagra has Ruckers going back, taking on North Carolina. Now, there's no win projection in terms of this. And the other one, I wanted to show you the Mayo Bowl. The other one has Ruckers playing in the Mayo Bowl. Did I pass the Mayo Bowl? January 1st, I think it is. 31st, Citrus Bowl, Texas Bowl, Gator Bowl, First Respond. Oh, here it is. He has Florida State playing Ruckers in the Mayo Bowl on.
I got Ruckers.
January 3rd. Both games they have Ruckers playing an ACC team. So definitely wanted to.
Y'all hating on the ACC. It's all right.
No. Oh, see, you weren't there for the first
it's
one.
all
Wait a
right,
minute.
son.
No. This is projections, though. But I just want to have a little fun with you with this one. Did I pass? Here it is.
There you go.
Here it is. He projects Ruckers taking on North Carolina.
Oh,
and I got Ruckers.
You want to bust that ass, yo. Fine,
whatever, man.
Just
Whatever.
saying, man. No disrespect.
Whatever.
I love Ruckers and all that, but I'm going to take this L when you playing Carolina.
Whatever, son.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I want to touch base with you guys is in terms of my Scarlet Knights. Oh, wait a minute. Did I skip over something? Wait a minute. I think I skipped over something. College news, men's basketball. Oh, yeah. There it is. Princeton. For those of you who follow the Princeton Tigers or in the area, if you want to see some great games, 5 home games, Princeton is selling season tickets for starting at $45. I mean, you can't beat that to go see college football, even if it's Ivy League. It's still going to be good football. Their first game is home game is September 28th against Howard. I say that because that's who Ruckers just played recently. But again, like I said, if you want to go see Princeton, $45. If I was close, I would actually go.
I would too. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So
$45 season ticket.
Yeah, that's 5 games. That's $8 for a game. So, but Ruckers. Even though the final score says 44-7, I'm sorry. I love my Scarlet Knights, but to me, it's 38-7. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So, but Ruckers defeated Howard, who's HBCU. They were led by Kyle Monangai. Kyle was done by the middle of the third quarter. 19 carries, 165 yards, 1 touchdown. Ethan Kaligmanis, new quarterback transferred in from Minnesota, was more efficient than in the past, was 15 of 27, 147 yards, 3 touchdowns. Very good. He wasn't helped by several of his receivers who dropped passes, 2 of them that went to stalling drives. So very frustrating. Defensively, linebacker Daryl DeJombo led the team with 14 tackles. This was his first start. So, he was all over the field. Ruckers' 2 starting linebackers were down with injuries, 1 for the season. So now the defense overall was challenged. Jay-Sean Scroggins, their quarterback, used his legs, causing a lot of movement issues for the defense. Now, he was passed for 116 yards on 14 completions, no touchdowns, but 1 interception. Now, that interception was returned 52 yards for a touchdown by cornerback Eric Rogers. It was also the first touchdown, first official points for Ruckers for the year. So, but again, Scroggins was very efficient, even rushed for 12 carries for 67 yards. So now the reason why I said, what I said in the beginning, at the end of the game, right as the game ended, Ruckers scored a touchdown. I believe it was from 11 yards out. Some of it was on the Howard players for not securing the tackle. But after the game, Howard's head coach, Larry Scott, was upset with Coach Schiano and Ruckers for the late score. And he was commented as saying, I think we're both top 2 competitors, talking about Schiano. And in that situation, I would choose to handle it a little bit differently. I can't speak for him. I have a lot of respect for Coach Schiano, what he's done, what he's been able to do, but we're both competitive. And in that situation, just a little bit of frustration came out. I thought it would have been handled differently, but he might as well. So, and Coach Schiano is defending himself, saying that he was getting reps for, a lot of the young players. It's their first possible week of the season. There's no running it up. If it was running it up, you don't use timeouts when you have the ball. You let the game in. That wasn't retaliatory. We were going to run plays. We bring a team in here to play us. We bring them here. We bring them in. We've got to win. We've got to get reps. They were there. We took them. In reference to the reps. So I understand what he's saying. And earlier, Howard, had the ball and they were calling timeouts trying to score. So I get what Schiano was saying. I don't like that. In that situation, you had the game well in hand. You take the timeout, and I love Coach Schiano. I've loved having conversations with him, talking ball with him, whenever I've gone to any of his clinics. If I ever see him, I'll even say it, pull him to the side. Look, coach, I didn't like that. That's just me. I understand you're trying to get young guys some reps, and they did run it straight up the middle. They didn't do anything outside or nothing like that. It was straight up the middle. So that's why I also put some of it on Howard. You had guys there to make the tackle and they didn't. So what do you blame? You're not going to blame a kid for just keep running. And that was his first touchdown ever. But Coach Schiano, tell him to take the knee on the last play. So next up for Ruckers is the Akron Zips. They're playing on Saturday, 12 noon. Akron just came in after playing Ohio State. So now one thing I want to talk about before I close out, there is a very embarrassing situation that's happening with Ruckers. For those of you who don't know, previously, former athletic director Pat Hobbs resigned surprisingly right before the season. It was stated that he resigned because of issues with his cardiologist telling him he needed to take some time, whatever. But there has been a report that's been coming out, and University President Jonathan Holloway, he's actually requested an external investigation into the university's gymnastic programs. Information came out of a possible improper relationship between AD and someone within the athletic department. No one knows who. Also, in terms of the head coach for the women's gymnastic team at Ruckers, Ume Salim Beasley. It's been reported that Beasley fostered a toxic culture of bullying, exclusion, and favoritism. 7 members of the team quit the team due to the issues. They also went to Hobbs and complained last year, and he didn't do anything. He's supposed to be there to support the players, and he did not take the complaints, with the highest regards. And then when you get this resignation, and now this comes out, it's starting to come out, and now there's an improper relationship, for Hobbs, who's also married. So it's like, what's going on? It's even stranger because Hobbs has 4 years left on his contract, and each year is valued at $1.3 million. So there's something fishy going on there. Even Governor Phil Murphy was quoted as saying the allegations are really ugly and disturbing. And he further said, I know there's an investigation underway, so I don't want to preempt that. I have no insight into it, but that was really ugly and very disturbing. I've reached out to Ruckers at the highest level. I know that they have an internal investigation going on, but that was pretty disgusting. That was a pretty disgusting set of facts in the paper. We shall see. My issue is that last statement. When you say set of facts, that means it's justified. There's a lot going on there. So, and hopefully they will get it rectified and corrected and take Ruckers out of the negative right now as an athletic program, man. Because they're on the upclimb, they're on the uprise right now, and to have a situation like this going on is not good. So, but that's what I wanted to talk about. That's Coach's Corner. Back to you, NYG.
Yeah, man. Good. Coach, man. You already know what it is, man. But yeah, man. That Ruckers.
That's disturbing.
Ruckers,
very disturbing, man. And you don't need it. Hobbs, when he was brought here, he came in to clean up another controversy, and now he's going out creating his own. So, and it really bothers me, man, because y'all know me. Y'all know how proud I am of Ruckers. I don't like seeing stuff like this, man. But you know what? I'm gonna bring it to light when it's wrong. You know, and just like I said with Coach Schiano, and I got nothing but love for Schiano. So I'll go to bat for him. I'd love to be on his staff. But when you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And with this, that's wrong. Those women are there. Yes, they're there to get an education, but they're to compete. And you're supposed to help guide and mold them. You're not supposed to tear them down. I get, making kids fight out. Some kids sometimes don't understand, you got to compete to get your what you call. Some of them feel entitled, and that's true. But when you got 7 at your gymnastic program, that's concerning. So, and then you hear, of an improper relationship. I instantly think romantic. I'm not gonna lie. To say, why it's improper in terms of the relationship, and that's why this man, quit his job to walk away. I mean, can't do anything to him going forward, because he quit, so he doesn't get his contract anymore. But when you walk away from $1.3 million a year over 4 years, man, that's a lot of money.
Yo, and one thing about Schiano, just from a football standpoint, I remember that instance with him and Tom Coughlin.
Exactly. Yep.
When he, Tom Coughlin was trying to get them the knee, and he was fighting through the play. He was getting his players to fight through the play, and Coughlin didn't like that. And so it's something about his character that I have to question now at this point. With so many Schiano.
It's not. I don't question his character. I can question being overly competitive when sometimes you just got to take a knee and understand when the game is over. But that's being competitive. I get what he's saying about, you know what, we got guys in here who you're trying to get them reps. I get that. I do. I really do. I understand where he's going. Like I said, he ran up the middle. It's not like he ran a toss to the outside, he threw a screen or nothing like that.
That's schematics though, bro. It's like you got rules, and I understand, coach. You're very technical, but you have rules and then you have unwritten rules. And that's the type of shit that Schiano crosses, those unwritten rules. That's the shit Coughlin was talking about. It's like, nah, yeah, technically what you did was within the rules, but bro, we don't do that shit here.
No, I get that. And I get that, bro. You know, I'm with you. That's why I said, what did I say? It's 38-7 to me. I said, take the knee. I get it. But what I'm saying is I also understand what he was doing, because that kid who scored the touchdown was actually the 7th string running back. The 7th string running back.
Right. Who will never get a play.
Exactly. Not this year. So I get what he was doing. Now, he scored, you know, and Howard, they 3 guys bounced off the tackle, bro. 3 guys. So to defend him a little bit more, Howard had the opportunity, and this was from the 11-yard line. Howard
I'm speaking more to his history.
Yes, no, but you said his character. What I'm saying to you, that's not his character. That's just being overly competitive. And now, you know what? You're pushing the air, because now you're saying he's maliciously trying to, you know, run it up on everyone in that regard. No, he's also trying to teach his players to always compete. You talk about Pat, very competitive. He's always going to compete. That's what he's teaching them. Stay in his mantra is chop. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment at all times. So I get it. The kid was the 7th Street running back. He just wanted to get him a carry. He thought Howard was going to stop him. Let's be honest.
To be honest with you, I would be more mad if it was a pass play.
Exactly.
If it was a pass play, then yeah.
A pass play, a toss to the outside, you're trying to out leverage him, but he ran straight in the middle. That's where the heart of your defense is.
I just think it's something about Schiano, and I mean I have a knack for these things. And
you may be right, NYG. He might be.
I know the man. I know the man for years. I know him. I know Coach Frazier, Bob Frazier, his former linebacker coach, defensive coordinator. Now he's in the administrative part of the football program. No, I'm going to tell you right now. No, that's not their character to be malicious and disrespectful. To be competitive, yes. To think about his players and try and get them carries, especially a 7th string running back. A 7th string running back. NYG, you've never played football, so I understand on the outside where you're looking at. I get it. I get that. And also with Coughlin, that's the NFL. This is college. You're talking about a 7th string running back, a kid this year who's definitely not going to see any more burn. Maybe he gets some in against Akron. But the rest of the season, he's not getting any burn. He's none. So, but he's also preparing him that, God forbid, something goes wrong. This kid at least knows what it feels like to play college level football. He's not going to be blind. He's not going to be surprised, you know, when he goes out there. And again, I go back to Howard, man. It's just like if you are standing there and he runs you over, what is the back supposed to do? Just stop because he ran you over? No, you keep going. Now, if you want to say he should have taken the knee, I did say that. He should have taken the knee. That part I get. But he's running it up the middle, straight down the defense to you. You had 3 guys who they didn't make the tackle. Kid broke free and ran in for a touchdown. I do understand.
I ain't mad at him for letting little Petey carry the ball.
No. No.
I'm saying he ain't never get no burn.
Facts, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So we're gonna shut this down, man.
Thank you for everything, bro. I appreciate you.
I'm about to crash the hell out.
4 racks.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Time to get up out of here.
Yeah, we all gotta get us out of here.
We appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Thank you for your support. like the banner has been going across the stream the whole time. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals support. And the Big Blue Crew does have big things coming, to the network. And definitely I'm working on a lot of things. I had something cooking for y'all tonight on a little game show, but we're just gonna have to say that for next time. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Yeah. But I definitely have a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. Big Blue Crew members, definitely please make your picks. I'm gonna tell y'all, make your picks. Because if you don't make your picks, you're gonna lose.
Right.
I'm just gonna tell you. And fantasy football players, y'all should already know what to do. Set your lineups, man, because game time is Thursday. Let's get it, man. NFL season is here, man. But appreciate each and every one of y'all. Appreciate my brothers, Big Pat Sports Talk, G Nation Inside Sports, and of course, the one and only Mr. Coach Ed Gladney. But till next time, y'all, we're going to get up out of here, man, with the brand new intro, man. Salute to you, Big Pat, man. Shit is dope. Let's get it.
This has been a Big Blue Crew Sports Network production.